Once in a year, there is an event which unites Java engineers all around the globe. Everyone knows that they can join this event, free of charge, by the way, and receive the most up to date information about all the modern Java topic. And not only Java this year, but also AI, of course. And everyone knows this time that Java is on. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Java on Conference 2024. I'm glad to be here with you. My name is Roma. I'm host of Java on Conference. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. I see more people is joining here, so I do assume you are fans of our conference. This is year number 4, by the way. So 4 years we do this conference, and I do hope you like it. I do hope you are here with us because of it, and of course because of our line of speakers, which we thrilled to bring to you with the most modern topic and the most interesting things to share with you this knowledge. Because I do think that this is really important to be up to date and up to skill. So before we start, let me take a couple of minutes from you to do some information sharing about our conference and how it will go. Of course, I already see some messages in the chat, so please leave some message in the chat. I know that you can watch us on 2 platforms. First one is YouTube, of course. Second one is VR community platform. There is chats in both of these platforms. You can leave comments on both of them, and we will try to read them. So if you want to tell us something right in the moment or leave a question to our speaker, you can use both of these chats. So these are 2 opportunities for you to interact with us and tell us more about your opinion on the topic, on what we're discussing here, on everything, basically. So let's start speaking about the conference. So its name is Javon. I hope you know it already. A couple questions about our team. So this community is brought to you mainly by 4 communities. It's Jacob, Minik, Javelin Up, and Eist communities. Also, we have sponsors. It's VR community, EPAM, JetBrains, and ComDay community. Also, we have a lot of communities which supports us. I will not name all of them, but you can see their logos. So thank you guys all around the globe which who helped us preparing this conference. Really appreciate it. You're awesome. So here some information about our social medias. This is our Instagram. You can check it by the QR code. Subscribe to it, of course. We post some fun videos about our conference, and also some announcements also is posting there. So please subscribe. Some useful information there. Also, of course, our YouTube channel where you are right now. So you can, if you're not by some reason, you can scan it by this QR code and find it. So please subscribe. All our conferences, our webinars are being posted there. So you will not miss all the stuff we are sharing there if you will subscribe. So this is something not to miss. Let's talk about our speakers, our main characters for next 3 days. So this conference will be 3 days. Don't miss. It's not only now, not only nearest hours, but 3 days starting now. So first day is today. We have 3 great speakers. It would be Anton Kovalenko, Yevgen Mospan, and Ivan Zvieriev. A lot of information about Amazon, AWS, about working with AI, and about Java. And it's Java taste as a good old wine. You know more when you will reach to the talk of Ivan. Tomorrow, November 13th, we have 4 great speakers. So we will start with Simon Ritter from Azul with talk about how to keep your Java hot. Next, we will proceed with Danila Chechetov with the talk about AI, and proceed with Istvan Nagy about keeping secrets. Let's keep the information about talk in secret. And then we would come to Przemysław Jakubowski and also speak about AI. So as you can see, we have pretty much talks about AI in our agenda. But, well, we live in a world where AI is already part of our work or not. This we will know in day 3, November 14th, because this day we will start with panel discussion among me, Yevgen, and another Yevgen Mospan and Yevgeny Borisov. So we will discuss, is AI really here? Is it with us or is it not? And how we can work with that. So the panel discussion calls this is fine. So let's see how we can how we can work with AI right now, or we cannot, or we can't. Let's see. Let's discuss it there. It will be day 3, this Thursday. Then we'll proceed with João Paulo Sanchez with virtual threats and what it brings to our life. And then we'll proceed to Anna Cherneshova about test containers and best practices in using of test containers. And we will finalize our conference with Jessica Kerr and her talk about open telemetry and how our apps are really capable of that. Really, really exciting agenda we have for these 3 days. I'm really excited to bring it to you. Please don't miss all the days. So you can find all the agenda on VR community website. You can find the link in the description if you're watching us on YouTube or you are already on VR community platform. Also on YouTube, we have already prepared all 3 streams for all 3 days. So you can click the button not to miss. I think it calls remind me, and then you will not miss when we will start the next day of our conference. Please book a time, watch the talks. They are really awesome. While you're watching, you of course can prepare some popcorn for you to watch our conference, but also we have some, let's call it activations or fun stuff for you to do while you're watching the conference. Sorry. So if you will hear some strange, weird noises, this is me coughing. I'm really sorry. It's November. Still, like, I'm in Malaga, but it's kind of warm here. But still, like, yeah. So I'm really sorry for that. Hope it will not disturb you a lot. So while you're watching, first activation we have is ask to you basically, how do you see future of Java on conference? So we have special video on the YouTube. You can find it by this QR code, or you can just go to YouTube and find this is promo video of Java on conference. So behind this video, below this video, in comment section, you can put your comment with a hashtag future Java on, saying how do you see the future Java conference, future Java on conference, which talks do you want to hear, what is the most interesting thing for you on the Java conference, what do you expect from next year conferences, and among those who will leave these comments, we will have a raffle for some prizes. This will be on the end of day 3. So you have 3 days to leave this comment. Think of that. Yeah, this is really important. And we always listen to you and to your feedback. So please leave a comment and share with us your opinion. And another activation is this Kahoot challenge. So this is some fun stuff. Link to Kahoot challenge also can be found in the description. Let me check if it's there. Yes, it is there. So all links are there, even to the video where you can leave a comment. So everything is in the description. So there is a link to Kahoot challenge, some fun stuff, some things to guess what is hidden behind the images and what is hidden behind the questions. Have some time fun, and then you also can win a prize passing this Kahoot challenge. So we will try to give you something special on the end of day 3. This is basically the end of my presentation. So I want to say have a great Java on, all of you. I do expect you write something in the comments on YouTube and we are community platform. So do expect to see something from you there. I'm looking right now in the both chats, and yeah, I do see some comments. So hey guys, hi everyone, nice to see all of you here. Okay, so very, very soon I will invite our first speaker to our stage. Before, yeah, I see comment on the community platform. I'm really glad. Thank you very much, guys. So yeah, you have time right now to check these links. So there are 2 links in the several links in the description on YouTube. So it's linked to the community platform. It's linked to video where you can leave a comment, and also there is a link to Kahoot challenge. So right now you can open it in separate tabs. So come back to it later, maybe tomorrow morning, maybe in the break between talks. So it's up to you when you want to really have a look on all these challenges. And one more thing, after the conference, we always send feedback form to people, right? So we ask you about your opinion, right? How was conference? How is it? So each year we spend a lot of time reading all these comments, and I do appreciate all of them. Thank you very much for those who posted them. It's really great to see that you like conference, something you don't like, and make conference better. So this year, basically, I want to ask you the same. So we will send you feedback form to be sure that you will receive it. You need to go to VR community platform and join conference there. So not only join in YouTube, but join directly inside the platform. And among those who would leave us a feedback, we also would have a raffle for some prizes. We will do this raffle, I think, around 1 week after the conference. So you would have 1 week after the conference to leave us a feedback, and then you will receive a prizes. I can give you a hint. Prizes are IntelliJ license. I didn't tell you anything. Some prizes, some secret prizes. So I do hope you will leave us feedback and receive something which will help you work, help you in future work, of course. So don't miss this feedback form. Meanwhile, I think I'm talking too much, right? So let me invite here to me our first speaker. This would be on Java conference to help me open it. This would be Senior Solution Architect in Amazon AWS, Anton Kovalenko. Anton, welcome to Java conference.
Hello, Roman. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting. Thank you for joining. Okay, so it was so, exciting intro. So I'm a bit scary speaking up.
No worries. No worries. We have mostly cozy and home atmosphere here in our conference, so it could be like this exciting. But our audience is really nice people. So yeah, thank you very much for joining. Thank you for opening this conference for us this year. Really amazing to have you with us. So, sorry guys. So guys, right before we start, while Anton is preparing, I want to tell you again, we have two chats which I will monitor during the conference. First one is on the YouTube, right there where you watch this video. Another one on VR community platform, again, where the same place where you watch the video. So during the talk, I will monitor both chats, and I will monitor for your questions, and I will ask these questions to Anton in the end of his talk. So if you want to ask something, if you want to know something in more details and know something more, please post the questions in either of the chats, and I will ask this question a bit later. Yeah, I think without any further ado, I think we can start. So Java is on. Anton Kovalenko, floor is yours. Let's go.
Okay, thank you. And let me introduce myself once again. My name is Anton Kovalenko. I'm a solution architect. I'm working in AWS, actually doing a lot of stuff together with EPAM. And today we're having a topic about, well, at some place where cloud meets Java, but in a bit different way. So mostly developers are developing the code, maybe in Java, maybe in other languages, but we're talking Java today, and then deploying it to the cloud. But today we will be talking about one tool which is actually helping developers, and in this case Java developers, in their day-to-day job. So Amazon Q Developer. So we will be talking about AI assistant, about code assistance helping in a day-to-day job. And let me jump directly to our today's agenda. So first of all, I will give a short intro. I will speak a bit about Q Developer, about a bit more about Q itself, like umbrella service. I will talk also about the place of these services in overall AWS AI/ML ecosystem. Then we will go deeper to the Q Developer. I will give you an overview. I will also cover some timelines, state of the market, and capabilities of the Q Developer. And then we will dive deeper, even deeper, to the some particular capability related to Java, so agent for Java code transformation. And for sure, I will save some time in the end for the Q&A session. But still, we're also expecting some demo today. So, first of all, about AML stack of AWS. Maybe if you were joining some of AWS events and seeing these intro slides about our overall stack, you may see that we're having some layers about this, but actually this is a specific slide for generative AI stack. So, and we can see that on the bottom, we're still having all of our capabilities like EC2 instances, GPUs, our specific silicons like Trainium and Inferentia. We're having orchestration services for MLOps like SageMaker and so on and so forth. Network things like Fabric Adapter, Neuron, Nitro, and so on and so forth. If we're going a bit on the higher level, like closer to service, we're having Amazon Bedrock where we're having lots of models, lots of foundational models from various vendors, both our home models developed by AWS and developed by other companies like Anthropic, like here, or Stable Diffusion, available with APIs and having some additional sugar like agents and so on and so forth. And on the higher level, we're having already applications which are using foundational models, and actually all these services are existing under like single umbrella, which is called Q, Amazon Q. And under Amazon Q, we're having several services. So I'm just here setting the stage. So we're having Amazon Q Business, specific service allowing you to integrate foundational models with your internal business systems. There are some embedded capabilities like Amazon Q Connect, QuickSight, and supply chain. So with the specific things like Connect is a uh, call center solution, QuickSight, BI solution, supply chain specific for logistics. And actually, jumping in, but our topic today is Amazon Q Developer, which is a generative AI powered coding assistant. And actually, one more thing. Back in 2023, Gartner said that more than 80% of enterprises will start use generative AI APIs or use applications by 2026. And what we are seeing today, so I'm personally working a lot with Amazon Q in various flavors, and I see the huge interest about that, and actually working a lot with the Q developer, and want to share something today with you about this. So about Amazon Q developer. So Amazon Q developer is actually coding assistant tool which is also available in several flavors, um, which is giving you several capabilities like helping to write a code, explaining the code, and actually saving some time. Like actually, it is a additional tool in on your belt when you are creating the software. So you know that good ID. Yeah, we like good IDs. It's lots of plugins we may like to have. Um, I know smart auto completion. We might need to have inline testing. We may like to have code styling tools and so on and so forth. And Amazon Q Developer actually adding to all of this and lots of developer use cases, uh, artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. So, and first of all, where you can find Amazon Q Developer. Uh, and here, first of all, for sure, it is available for IDEs. It is available for JetBrains IDEs suite, and it is available for Visual Studio Code as a separate plugin. You may remember that some time ago, until April this year, it was available as a part of AWS Toolkit plugin. Nowadays, it is a separate plugin called Amazon Q, which is available on the marketplace, so which you can install inside your IDE. But actually, when you're seeing the logo of the Q, so let me jump back. This logo, you may see it also in Management Console. And in Management Console, it also can help you with resources, with working with AWS resources from inside management console. So in a chat mode, you can ask questions about your resources, find significant insights, or even troubleshoot, for example, networks. So and also it is available. We're having specific developer oriented service which is called Code Catalyst. So also interesting thing. Maybe we will find time to cover it on, on some other session. But Q Developer also available in Amazon Code Catalyst, and actually you can even assign tasks to Q Developer and ask it to create software for you. So you are just going to the task tracker, creating a task, assigning it to the queue, and then Q just creating a code, creating PR. Then you can go review it, agree with it, or maybe argue, ask Q to elaborate on that, and finally you can merge it and enjoy changes in your system. So and also Amazon Q Developer available in CLI. So you can both in chat mode and auto completion mode. And also it can make a smart suggestions based on your environment. But actually it is not something we're covering today, but I just wanted to give you a brief picture on what Q Developer could do for you. So okay, and actually we're having a several like stages of software development lifecycle, starting with the planning. And Amazon Q can support you on the planning phase. For example, in the management console, giving you insights about your environment. And also, for example, if you want to understand some code base, you can ask it to explain the code. It can help you creating the code, and actually it is having couple of capabilities for it. It is inline code generation. It is a development agents. It is a chat mode. And actually, well, just recently, couple of weeks ago, new capability, you can chat in inline mode as well. So chat mode for inline. So this is actually always challenging me to stay in touch with all new capabilities which are available for the Q Developer. Okay, it can generate tests for you. It can perform security scanning and remediation of security issues, and for sure, it can help to troubleshoot errors. For example, in the network, in EC2, VPC reachability analyzer also integrating with the Q Developer. So all stages of software development lifecycle are supported by Amazon Q. And actually, the last thing, maintain and modernize, is something we will discuss a bit more today, is about the agents, agents for code transformation. But first, okay, couple of words about capabilities itself. So exploring and planning, so you can ask questions to the code. You can ask questions about your environment in AWS. For example, please list me all lambdas with outdated runtime and give me a recommendation on how I can upgrade it. For sure, so you can do that. So for the code creation, you can generate code in line. You can generate code inside the chat. You can ask for refactoring, fixing errors, optimizing the code, and so on. So and also maybe navigate through the code and ask about for the explanation of some particular code parts. There is also the things which are related to customizations. It is very interesting topic. Lots of question about that. There are various ways on how Q Developer could customize to your own code base, starting from customization, centralized customizations, and also with customizations which can run locally, which is called workspace awareness. So you may have some local index of your code base which could be used while code generation in the chat mode. So you can add the keyword like add workspace and then ask questions, and the questions will and your prompt will be enriched with information about your whole code base. So another advanced capability, Amazon Q Developer Agent. Here you are not asking questions about code, you are not generating code with a prompt, you are just giving the Q the idea what are you expecting from it. And this is actually one of the agents available. Another agent is a code transformation, which we will cover soon in more details. But actually Q Developer Agent also worth mentioning. So it is available in the chat mode. You can ask Q to generate code to fulfill some particular requirement. So you're not putting create a function for something. You may ask for the particular change for your application. I don't know, introduce the new method in an API and which will do some particular things. And Q, for example, can generate not just a new method in API, maybe new endpoint, also the backend function or container, whatever you are having in your project to fulfill the whole requirement. So this is an agent. Also for the testing and security, you can ask Q to generate unit tests. You can use Q Developer Agent for it for this as well. Actually, I've seen the requirement. Okay, can we generate unit tests for the whole project? You can try Q Developer Agent for this. You can say, okay, generate unit tests for the whole project, and it will elaborate on it, having the context of the whole project. So also you can scan the project for security vulnerabilities, and also just in line have a remediation suggestions to improve security and code quality. So even not deploying your code, not starting any tests, you are having it here in line in your IDE. So, and actually also operate, it is something which is like more available in management console, but you can troubleshoot lambdas, for example, with Amazon queues, analyze network connectivity, and so on. And actually also I've just mentioned about resources and billing. You can ask questions in AWS Management Console, Cost Explorer. Support is available in preview at the moment, but still you can ask questions about billing as well. Okay, and that was an intro, frankly speaking. So capabilities of the Amazon Q Developer, it was a like some brief explanation of capabilities. Also worth mentioning that this year we've got lots and lots of capabilities introduced. So and also worth mentioning, this year September, Gartner published first magic quadrant for the coding assistant. If you're curious, please go ahead and check. So you can see that okay, so see the challengers, see the leaders, and so on. So so this is meaning that AI assistants becoming a like full-fledged system. It is having their own magic quadrant from Gartner. Another thing, it is having a benchmarks. Also, I will share the links afterwards in the end of my presentation as well. So about, for example, SWE Bench, which is testing various code assistant tools on verified tasks and the code sets, and checking how they are performing against like standard tests. But okay, so and now we are going to the Amazon Q Developer Agent for the code transformation. What is actually standing behind this capability? Okay, we all know, so the magic word legacy. So lots and lots of applications, big applications, were written some time ago. and were written in the actual versions of the language for the time being. But okay, at the moment, teams are supporting it in the current state. There could be a big code base and supporting it, maybe tedious, maybe time consuming, and also upgrading is also is like another big deal to do with it. We all know we always having priority for introducing new features, or maybe fixing bugs, rather than, for example, upgrading the version and improving the posture of your application. But okay, legacy applications in the older language versions, it is also security risk, for example, and so on and so forth. And for this, we all know there is a process of application upgrade. How it's happening from developer perspective? Okay, first of all, developer needs to understand how application is actually working. Maybe check the test coverage to ensure that we all know what is happening in application and how it works. So then, step by step, application may be start changing, or maybe not step by step, because at some point, if you want to upgrade the language version, you need to upgrade significant part of the application, or maybe whole application itself. So and okay, you need to write, you need to review, then try to build, fix the building issues, run test against it, maybe run some manual testing, then return back to research. And this is continuous loop, which is taking a lot of time, which is actually requiring some knowledge about application itself, about older version of language, about newer version of language, and how they're mapping, and what actually is the benefit moving from one version of language to another, how you are replacing the frameworks, how you are upgrading dependencies, and so on and so forth. So, and actually, but okay, transforming is important part. So it is enhancing productivity, because new version means better productivity, more intelligent work, more automated things, and so on and so forth. And sure, from security perspective, because security vulnerabilities are mostly closing in the newer and newer versions of a language itself. And for this actually was introduced the capability. It was introduced in November last year in preview. Is on last reInvent. Actually, I'm looking forward what will be introduced this one, and it was a agent for the code transformation for Java. So briefly, what this thing is doing, it is having capability to upgrade Java from the version 7 or 11 um, to newer versions, and it is giving you I'm sorry, version 8 to 8 and 11 to version 17. So for sure. So cat got my tongue. And actually, and this capability allowing you to do it just from within your IDE with the simple commands. And a bit later, I will show to you how it works. But before that, I will give you some insights on how it was built and what stages are standing behind this solution. So first of all, okay, you are having some project, for example, in Java 8 or Java 11, and you want to transform it to Java 17. And we're having actually inside AWS, the team which was working on this capability investigated several ways on doing this. You can do it in some algorithmic way, using some knowledge bases. using some rules on how one version of code is transforming to another version of code. And also you can use heuristic methods. You can use, okay, for sure you can use machine learning, maybe even not foundational models, but a bit more straightforward uh, solutions. But actually, in the end, it was found out that the best approach is to combine these methods. So, and here I'm having some diagram which is representing on how transformation works. So first of all, you are having your source code, and when you are running the transform task, Q developer first building and testing your application in a secure environment. So it is uploading your code to the secure environment, and the code is built and tested within existing tests, and it is checking that code is actually building, application is actually working, and tests are also successful. And then it is starting the first iteration of application improvement. It is applying the knowledge base. I will give you some examples a bit further on how knowledge base is applied. So what is knowledge database? Where it comes from? Actually, knowledge database is combined and enriched by experience of transforming actual applications. Okay, the significant part of AWS is running on Java, AWS and Amazon. So, and yeah, for sure, we're upgrading our applications as well. Also from open source and so on. And actually, I've heard the number around 200K projects were used to build this knowledge database. So, and this knowledge database is representing the best practices and understanding how some particular code in older Java version is transforming to newer Java version, including not just the code itself, also dependencies, frameworks, modules, and so on and so forth. So first, what is happening is knowledge database is applied to your code. Then we are having the continuous loop of improvement. So Q developer is trying to build the newer version of of your application and run tests against it to check if the application works just in the same way. And actually, this is a continuous loop because, okay, from the first attempt, application might not build. Actually, it's not building in the majority of situations. And then this is the part where Gen AI coming into place. So Gen AI fixes these errors, and actually, it is not just Gen AI. You see here that on this slide, for the building and testing and error fixing loop, we are not just having the Q and Gen AI itself, but it is also referring to the knowledge base. It is fetching some significant data for this particular situation. So it is also having the smart engine for it and enriching the prompts, going to a foundational model, not just with your code and error explanation, but also with some extraction of the knowledge base. So, and altogether, it is going in a continuous loop and improving step by step your application until it builds successfully and fulfilling the tests. And when it is done, Amazon Q developer returning you like message, okay, I'm ready, and the returning you the package of your upgraded code. So it's like it is looking like a, let's say, merge request. So you can check what files were changed, what was the changes, and actually see the information about like building attempts and results of the like final builds, how it looks like. And then actually you can agree with it. You can maybe add your own fixes, maybe what you are thinking is important for your project. Then you can just push the changes to your repo, and it will go through the CI/CD or other ways. Anyway, so you are having your application upgraded. Okay, so like some brief examples. This is not actually on direct extraction on how Amazon Q is working. It is like just an example, maybe on some particular case where it is giving a suggestion for upgrade for the version of the Jackson core. So Jackson core is a famous library to work with the JSONs, so to parse and generate JSONs. So here it is saying, okay, for these particular projects, I'm thinking that you need to upgrade version from this one to this one, and this is one of example. Another example. So it is when some particular package is not available. So in this case, Amazon Q will also suggest a fix. And one more thing: it is not something which is happening, and you need to control it and so on. This is happening under the hood. You will just receive the final code package, or maybe sometimes like an error. There are some particular situations where maybe it's too big repo and so on. You can refer to documentation. It is clearly defined there what can be problem of the issue and how you can troubleshoot it. Another example also for version upgrades, and here is also the statement that there could be a combination of static scenarios, like static tools, like we just know that we need to upgrade to from this particular version of HTTP client to this particular version, and this is perfectly fine. We don't need maybe to use LLM for it. For some particular cases, we might need to use LLM, and actually it will work faster and like more smart than just replacement. So here we are just having, okay, so exception which will be never thrown, and okay, to fix it LLM may suggest us just to modify our code in this way. So, and that was a brief explanation of how this thing works. We will jump to the demo in a minute, but also there is a stats. AWS, actually not AWS, Amazon is sharing about Amazon Q developer usage inside, so that there is a situation where around 1,000 applications were upgraded in 2 days. And actually one more figure which is not on the slide, but which is also significant. It was 5 persons who've done it. And okay, let's finish with the presentation and let's have a short demo. Actually, it is a pre-recorded video because actually I am what I wanted to mention, that the code transformation may take some time, so it is like a synchronous task. It is, as I said, it is taking some loop on upgrading and improving your application. That's why actually we're having it pre-recorded, but okay, I'm encouraging you even to test it yourself. Okay, so here
this is a sample project.
Here we're having some project which is called some movie series, and what is it doing? It is actually, we see here that it is in Java 8, and we see that it is building, testing, and so on, and it is returning us some list of movies stored in some data source. So it is a Spring Boot API, once again written in Java 8. So we are running this application. Application is started, so we can, after that, we can jump to the browser and take a look if application is working. And okay, so yes, it is working. It is running locally. We see that okay, we're having this API response, and then we're opening queue and starting the transformation with the keyword which is called transform. And then we're having a transformation hub running. So it is a like queue opening such a thing. We are selecting our application. We're selecting the target version, which is 17. And in the application hub, we are having information that Amazon Q is scanning our project. It is like uploading our code. So then it is trying to build it. It is testing it. It is creating a plan, and in the plan it is defining what version will actually there is a really detailed plan where you can see so what will be upgraded to which versions, what dependencies will be upgraded, and so on and so forth. So you are just like taking a look at it. So and then you see here that there is an like showcase on how it is attempting to build your application and show you and in the end when build finally successful and tests are finally successful, it is returning you information that okay, transformation is complete for your project. Then you can select ask it to download the code and take a look into the what was actually changed. So you can select it file by file. So, for example, if you're going to the movies controller, you may see that there is a Spring upgrade. It should be JUnit upgrades. It should be Mojito updates, and all overall things which were outdated and needs to be updated. So yeah, we see here that JavaX replaced with Jakarta, and so on and so forth. So dependencies, some code samples. Hopefully, I will be able to also share the sample if you're interested to see that. I will check it afterwards. Okay, so and actually this is a how our code changed. We can also check POM XML to see on how dependencies changed. Okay, see we see here the changes in JUnit. So and actually also also JUnit Spring Runner upgraded as well. So changes in dependencies, it is also all dependencies changed accordingly. So everything what was expected expected to be upgraded, so your system knows all dependencies, everything of this should be installed accordingly. So okay, yeah, we see here Java version is 17 now, and compiler target as well. So good to know. So we are now ready actually to test our application. So next thing, which what we need to change, we need to change the if we are working from IDE, we need to change the actually configuration of our project. We need to ensure that now our project is working for with Java 17. So yeah, it should be done in a minute. So we are opening the project. We are selecting the new version of Java. So in this case, it should be Java. It should be Coretta 17. So it's Amazon implementation of Java. Then we can try to build it and run tests against that. Our tests are actually also returning the success. Okay, we're seeing that everything works well. And last thing, we want to check that our application is still working, that it is still returning us the list of our free movies. And actually, once again, we're running application. Yes, it is working just as well as it was working before. So that was a brief example on how it works. And actually, jumping to my last slides before our Q&A session, there is a QR to the Q Developer page. You can try Q Developer today. Q Developer is available in two flavors. It is having a free tier, which is available with the AWS Builder ID. AWS Builder ID is having nothing to do with AWS accounts itself. You don't need to have actually AWS account to try Q Developer. Builder ID you can create just connected to some of your emails. And actually, if you are working with AWS and you're interested in, for example, doing certifications, so Builder ID is some place where you are starting your certification path, where you are ordering your certification, and where you will see your actual achievements. And important thing that previously it was you should have Amazon account to do that. Now it is transferred to Builder ID, and if you are planning to certify soon, for example, and you had another certification, first thing it will ask you to transfer to Builder ID, and it will map your achievements there, just for information. But actually, yes, Amazon Q Developer available with a Builder ID. If you can create this Builder ID for free, you can log in when you installing and launching Q Developer inside your RDE. It will ask you for login. It will be two options there: free tier and pro version. And for the pro version, you need to have subscriptions, which is cost $19 per user per month, and it is already having like enterprise capabilities, like single sign-on, bigger quotas for development agents, transformation agents, and so on. But you still are able to try and use Q Developer on a free tier, including the transformation for Java as well. It is only limited for the lines of code you can transform. Please refer to documentation for this case. And actually, that was it from my side. If there are any questions, Roman, please.
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much for great talk. So thank you for amazing start of our Java conference. And I want to say that in somewhere in the beginning we have a comment in the chat. So like, how is it related to Java? Like, so okay, so I understand this is about Amazon, but how is it to Java? Guys, I do assume that somewhere in the middle of the talk you understand how it is related to the Java, and you see how it useful could be for you. So I do recommend you try this tool. Yeah. Again, Anton, thank you very much for your talk. So coming to the questions, before we start with the questions, let me ask you one from my side. So not so far ago, somewhere in Twitter, I found a nice question, which is basically, I think, essential one. Guy was asking, like, okay, guys, so I do understand that it's like everybody say upgrade your Java, upgrade your tools, upgrade the libraries, and I do understand there could be some patches, whatever. But what exactly bad could happen if I will not upgrade? So I have my own answer, but question to you, Anton. How can you respond to this question, this kind of question?
Okay, so first of all, it's sarcastic. Maybe nothing gonna happen. You know this. This is a actually I had it. I was working in one development team, and we had this. You know, the board with some memes, and you know, with a boat when people are sitting, and on one side is drowning, and the other side is saying, "Okay, problem is not on our side," and another thing was saying, "Okay, we shouldn't upgrade. Nothing gonna happen." Okay, okay. First of all, okay, we all know about legacy, and for example, you are having some dependency inside your application, and this dependency is working in some particular version for your particular versional language, which you don't want to upgrade, as I understood you correct, yes? And at some point, the developer of this package or module may say, "I'm introducing beautiful new feature. it will work 30 times faster and 20 times cheaper. And but for you it won't be cheaper because you are having 15 years old application, and at the moment you need to upgrade it, and well, upgrading it may cost you something, maybe significant part of this. And okay, at some point you may say, okay, I won't have these beautiful capabilities, but someone else will have it, you know. Things are happening like this. It is, like having an old car. At some point, maintenance fees are becoming way bigger than benefit on like having like benefit from not buying a new car or replacing it with a new car. I don't know if I covered your question. The
Yeah,
answer
sure.
is obvious.
No, I know it is obvious. Like again, I also have my own answer, and it's more or less close to yours one. We can replace this nice library with some feature by some security stuff, which has some fix, and you cannot update it on old version of Java, but can on new. But from time to time, I do see this question appears in different chats. Like people are being asking, like, okay, so like, but why? Why should I do that? So I think it's important to raise this question frequently and say, okay, so what's the point? Okay, so coming to the questions from our audience, I do want to remind you guys that we have several chats where you can post this question. We have chat on YouTube and chat on the community platform, so take a chance to ask a question. So first one was from Oleg, somewhere even in the beginning of the talk.
Mhm.
Can you provide some examples of successful AI applications in Java projects at Amazon, particularly in the context of Amazon Q? Are there any specific libraries or frameworks recommended for such solutions?
Uh, could you please a bit rephrase it? So
Okay,
successful.
so first part is that are there any applications in Amazon with successful integration of AI? I think Amazon Q is one of the
Well,
examples, but the
Amazon
question.
Q, yeah, and actually, what I'm seeing around, lots of people are using it. Maybe I'm a bit like sitting in my own boilerplate, so and always seeing that people are coming to me with the questions about Amazon Q because they are knowing that I can answer. But lots of it, and actually, I would say that starting this year, the amount of questions is growing. One of the examples, Amazon Q. Well, I don't know. You're talking about, if you're talking about Amazon Q, Amazon. I'm sorry, LLM applications. Yeah, so we're not talking about like things like Bedrock, which is just providing you LLM, but Bedrock is still very very gaining a lot of interest. And also, guys, maybe not about everything I can talk because some
Okay.
applications are internal, but yeah, AI is widely using, and I think it, in a very very sometimes surprising applications. So you're not expecting where it could help, but it is still helping.
Okay, okay. Thanks for the response. So another one was from Igor. Does Amazon Q offer features to ensure that Java code compiles with industry security standard like OWASP or others?
Actually, there is a security uh, scanning tool which is actually scanning your code in accordance to uh, the security best practices. It is applied not only to Java; it might be applied to other languages. As far as I remember, OWASP is covered. I can take it as a I don't know, homework. I may even try to return to you in the chat. But yeah, actually, the security scanning feature is just for it, and it is based actually on the best practices.
Okay, okay, great. Thanks for the response. Okay, question from Raman, not from me, another one. As I understand, Amazon Q uploads the whole project for processing. And what about privacy? It's first part of the question. Second part is what if project is huge?
Okay, so it is starting from the end, please define huge. But still, it is okay. It is
Mono
having
mono repo of several
it,
gigabytes. I don't know.
it is having 2 gigs limitation for it. So if you refer to documentation, it is having. Uh, I always afraid to be wrong, and maybe not all of my of these limitations I remember by heart, but 2 gigs as far as I remember. Um, First, and what was another one?
Another one, what about privacy? So I think this is the
Oh,
safeguard. Yeah.
privacy. Yeah, it's very important. Very important. First of all, yes, your code is uploaded to Amazon Q. Yes, your code. Actually, Amazon Q at the moment is operating only in one region. It is North Virginia, US East 1. And your code is uploaded to some service account there, which is not like accessible by anyone, even even you actually. But the code existing there only for the time being of the process. After that it is deleted. And one more thing, it is supporting customer managed keys. And if you are having you can use your own key in the configuration of your Q developer profile. And in this case, okay, this code there could be decrypted only by you. If Even if it is stored there and in the end, I don't know, lost for some reason, which will not happen definitely. But actually, this is the code is. Yes, code is uploaded there, but it is existing only for the time being. It is not accessible to anyone, and it is deleted immediately after process is finished.
Okay, okay, good to know. Question from our YouTube chat. So a lot of questions. I really love it. I even can show it on the screen. So LLMs usually have a knowledge cutoff, so they can't assist with updates to the latest version. Question is Amazon Q somehow solve this problem? Yeah, with latest updates.
Okay, so here we can just discuss what are the latest updates, first of all. But yes, there are cutoffs. There are cutoffs. I would expect. Uh, but one important thing I wanted to mention, and I'm always saying that on events when I'm talking about Amazon Q, because people sometimes asking, okay, we tried Q, for example, I don't know, in the February, and we didn't like it for this, and this. And I always saying, try now. Model is continuously evaluating. It is continuously improving. And actually, it's not just one model. It is several models. Uh, and it is continuously improving. And well, uh, and this time I also returning to my last slide, saying you can try. You can install Amazon Q and try it with some latest things you need to check. Ask what is the latest version you can do for this particular framework, or just move or transform this one or refactor this one to the latest version. I don't know. The feeling is believing, and this is also my strong believing.
Okay, okay, good to hear. Question from Ara. Hi, Anton, thanks for the presentation. Could you please provide some statistics about quantity coverage of the tests of the transformed application? Can various test coverage metrics be significantly different from the initial and transformed application? So how Amazon Q works with the test coverage?
uh, I would
I can
presume.
while you think I can give you an example. It's a story
Okay.
from my project. So recently we've migrated to the newest version of Java, and in our project we have a lot of Lombok. And I've migrated several records from Lombok to basically Java records, and I've changed coverage of the code from somewhere like 30% to 90. I'm not a Lombok hater, just for the record, but this is how it could be changed during the migration. So
Uh,
back to the question.
Okay, back to the question. So important thing here, what I remember, what is mentioned in the documentation, that actually Q is using existing tests to test your application. So I can presume that tests should remain the same. And this is actually what we are expecting from application.
But they would be migrated as well, right?
Yes.
Tests. Okay.
Yeah, but actually another way, if you want to generate tests, it is another task. It is not task for transformation. Maybe you may the even before any refactoring, the first thing, what should you do you need to check your unit test coverage, because yeah, okay, what is the process of refactoring? We're expecting application to work in the same way or better, maybe from performance perspective, at least, where we're expecting that logic will remain. The same thing here, where transformation, we expect that logic will remain. But before that, you can and ask, please generate me additional unit tests, or just use a chat or something for this.
Okay.
So,
Okay. One.
mhm.
Yeah. Thanks for the answer. So one more question, I think really interesting one. So in case we have any dependencies in POM which are dependent on any license keys, will it work if we use Amazon Q for project upgrade?
Hate to say it, good question. I'm not sure. To say.
Okay. So yeah, I really love this one because if we have
Yeah,
some real dependency.
it is tricky one, and I will write it down and maybe return with it, because, uh, um, frankly speaking, it is one more thing. It is clearly mentioned in documentation that some things sometimes. Okay, we've seen beautiful example when everything was working perfectly and everything. We ran transformation. After that, we ran our application in newer version, and it is working. But at some points we may have, mostly, which is clearly defined in documentation, that it works good with open source. Actually, yeah, good question. And yeah, it returned me to documentation. In documentation, it should be mentioned somewhere, or it was mentioned on some. I can find the source that it is works best for the open source, and for these particular license things or internal in-home things, you might need to do it manually.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for the answer.
So silver
Uh
bullet, but not the golden bullet, maybe. So let's say like this.
Yeah. So anyway, there are some cases where you need to do something by yourself also. But yeah, great to have tool for like Pareto principle. So 80/20. So if we can migrate 80% of like our projects. So yeah.
Once again,
Uh
I'm sorry, Roman. It is very important to understand. It is still assistant. So it
sure.
is helping you. It is taking burden from you. I don't know. If someone is expecting magic, well, this
Okay.
may be.
I think couple last questions. So one is, I think I saw it several times in the different chats. Are there any possibility to have this integrated into Eclipse?
Not at the moment. So
Okay.
at the
Any
moment, it
plans?
is supporting JetBrains and VS Code. No
Okay.
comments. Frankly, I don't know. So
Okay.
it is something. Which, please rely on uh, like announcements, and well, reinvent is coming. Let's hope.
Okay, yeah. So, guys, don't miss reinvent. And I think the last one also about privacy. So you already answered that it's encrypted, etc. Though there are still projects, companies who really, I would say, suspicious about privacy of their data. And if question is if there are any possibility to run Amazon Q somehow in house, so
Uh,
somehow on a house server.
Answer is no. It is so endpoint is existing only in North Virginia, but there is a way to secure the connection. Amazon Q developer is supporting the private link. So, and you can terminate the your connection inside VPC, virtual private cloud, and use private link to connect to Amazon Q. And in this case, your code may travel. For example, if you're having on premises network. This network is connected by secure channel to your VPC, and your VPC connected via private link to the um, Amazon Q endpoint. Your code, your data will go only through dedicated encrypted channels and never touch internet. So from VPC, it will travel through AWS backbone not touching internet as well. So you can secure the whole path for your data.
Okay, yeah, that's really great to have this opportunity. So I think that's it. Anton, thank you very much. A whole bunch of questions. You answer all of them.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah, some was challenging, and actually, I would appreciate if you will share the list with me, because I'm collecting these questions and answers. Next time, I will be more prepared. For
Okay, we
some.
can try. Also, guys, I want to tell you that on We Are Community platform, under each talk, we have a comment section, so you can post your questions if there are some which you want to have an answer there. We will for sure provide them to Anton and his answer in the same section. So don't miss it. Everything will be there. Anton, thank you very much again for such a great start of our conference. It was nice to have you. Hope to have you next conferences as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice one.
Hello again. Hello again. We're back. So before I invite our next speaker to our speaker room, I mean to our stage, let me show you a couple of things. So for that, let me share my my screen. Just give me one tiny second. Yeah, let maybe yeah, I can share this one. So you can see this is VR community platform. This is chat with your question, one of the chats which I monitor. So what I wanted to share with you. So here you can see that we have our main page, right? And on our main page, if you haven't reached it yet, so probably you're watching us on VR community platform. Hello then. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can find the link to VR community platform right in the description of the video, so you can go there. You will see here probably register button, so please click it. Nothing is expected from you, but you will have some more access and more access to other stuff. So on the main page you can find everything about our conference. You can find our agenda here for all the days. We already spoke about that. You can find here information about our challenges and our activities which we have. So here we have some riddle, and here we have information about yeah, our social networks, our sponsors. So everything is here on this page. And what I also wanted to share with you is that we have chats right inside the platform. So if I click, for example, on opening, and then I click here on, like, this is comment section, which I mentioned in the talk with Anton, where you can leave your questions. So if I click here on like watch, yeah, hi Roma. So here you can see the chat, right? So it's here. So hi guys, thank you very much for posting it. The problem is, which we encountered, is that these chats are separated in between talks. So of course you can proceed watching conference in the talk where you entered, but chats are separate. I will try my best to monitor all of them, I swear. But yeah, so I would really try to monitor chats. But if you feel lonely in the chat, try checking other chats. I mean, in the same day, so maybe people are there. But I will try my best to monitor all the chats to see your questions. Yeah. So, but for sure, I will monitor like the chat on the talk, which is right now in the air. So I hope you love the conference, guys. So please post something in any chat. I mean, in YouTube, in the talk chat, so I would know that you are here with us. So I would see you. And thank you very much for your questions. Thank you very much when you say thank you to speakers. So it's really, we're still in this online mode for like already 4 years. and in online mode it's really hard to see people. So that's why I always encourage all of you to, like, okay, please tell us something, please write something, tell us how you feel, how do you like the conference or not. So this is really 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 important for all of us, to see that what we do is valuable. Okay, so I think we can move on to our next speaker. Yeah, sorry guys again. So our next speaker is CTO of EPAM Ukraine, Yevgen Mospan. Yevgen, welcome to Javon.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Roma. Thanks for invitation, and I hope that everybody is ready for the second talk.
Yeah, I do hope too. So guys, maybe you don't know. I think Yevgen is first time you are on the stage of Javon, right?
As a speaker, yes.
Yeah, so you don't know. Yevgen is our, like, angel keeper, you know. So he is always behind the Java On conference. He helping us to organize that all these years, and I really appreciate. I want to say thank you, Yevgen, for all the job you made for us. So he was backstage, like always, just helping us, like Godfather, something like this. So
Uh,
thank you very much from all the team,
Roma, it
from
was
all
a
the audience.
pleasure. Really, it was a pleasure because conference is always people. It's always speaker. Who is a backstage, they are only supporting, so they do not really do a lot. Believe me.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for all organization team. Thank you for all the audience. So, guys, yeah, we have a couple minutes before the official time to start. I just want to say some general information. So, all the conference is being recorded. No worries. All the streams will be available right after the end of the stream. After the end of the conference, we will cut talks separate and we'll publish them on our YouTube channel. So subscribe to our YouTube channel not to miss all these talks, and of course you can rewatch any talk anytime you want. And yeah, I will collect your questions in all the chats we have. So we have YouTube chat, we have chat on their community platform. So I'm looking in all of them, trying to collect the questions and see what I can ask to our speakers. So please don't miss this chance and ask your questions. So right before we jump into the talk, and Evgen, I can ask you meanwhile to share your screen, so we'll have it prepared. Um, yeah, so maybe like a general question. Maybe you can give us some hint. What would be your talk about? So it would be about AI, but what exactly?
It will be about new methods, how you can work with AI, but let me try. Uh, so it's a window, it should be like this. Um,
Yep, I think we
No,
can
it's
see, but
wrong.
no, it's the wrong
It's
one. Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, it's
It's
the wrong
wrong
one.
one. Yeah, let me try it one more time. Uh, just a sec. Um, here we go. I believe this one should be correct. Yeah, this one should be correct. And
Yeah. So
and
I hope people will not hate us at the start. Just a couple minutes earlier. Again, all the records will be there, so you can always rewatch it. And yeah, small reminder: we collect your questions in all the chats. So Evgen, Java is on. Good luck. Stage is yours.
yeah, thank you, colleagues, for joining. And today we are going to talk about new methods of working with AI. And let me tell you about a couple of words about myself. So I'm working at EPAM for about 10 years at the moment. And right now I'm a CTO of EPAM Ukraine and work also as a senior director with a focus on a solution architecture. My main streams are technology consulting, architecture, and research and development activities. So AI actually belongs to this one. And I worked in a really big project, in a like really interesting ones. Among of them, I would like to distinguish two. So it's My DHL Plus and DIA. So who of you are from Ukraine, you know about this project. For the rest of the world, it's like a national mobile application in Ukraine from government to simplify life of people. And basically, this was one of um, the most challenging project I ever participated in. But at the moment, my focus strongly belongs to AI, and how you can apply it in, from one hand side, SDLC processes, but in the same time in all what I call here human-machine processes. So, and that is why, and by the way, Roma, can you please just tell me that everything is okay? Slides are being changing, so you hear me well? Okay, so that's great. And actually, I want to discuss with you is really GenAI a game changer right now. And we are going to talk about AI agents and what we call AI workflows. So workflow, AI agents is basically right now known term. Everybody is calling it in this way. With AI workflows, there can be some deviations, some differences, but you will, I guess you will understand what I am talking about, and probably you are trying it already. And I also want to show you current level of adoption here at EPAM, what we do, and what we believe will be our next actually way of working with software development, and probably with some business application development and changing the business processes on our client side and their customers. So let's start with like generic human-machine processes and what is hiding behind. This picture is of course generated by AI, and I just wanted to illustrate that sometimes in the human-machine processes, humans start to behave like robots. And you can probably recognize some parts of your job as this process. When you need to fill something, to transform something, to pass some information to another person, just to make things done. And usually it is like some routine operations with minimal creativity. So you don't like to do it. And actually, in this way, it is non-human interface. So you just cannot talk. You just cannot think about it abstract. You need to make it really concrete and feel some interfaces and so on and so forth. And you work in a highly standardized processes. So one important piece is basically that that transformation that I mentioned. And actually, you are not really creating something. You are just transforming the previous version of the artifact to the newer version. And mostly it is related to text. And in some cases, and not only text, of course, but in the way that machine can validate your actions and basically to tell whether it's right or wrong. And the typical challenge with this kind of processes, they are really boring. And effective workers in these processes, they must enjoy this routine. So it's like going to gym and liking all the physical exercises. So when I go to gym, I like to do different stuff. So I cannot do the same stuff every day. So it's really boring for me. This is what, the kind of person I am. You can be different, and it's okay. But really, when you have the repetitive process, then you need to enjoy it to be effective. And the high risk of burnout, it appears in such process. And because of two previous points, you as a manager, so here we talk about different roles in the process, you need to control and to coordinate. And actually, the weakest point of these processes is talent suppression, because the people inside the processes, they cannot extract all their creativity and bring it to the table. So it's hard to do for them. And let's try to take a look on a process that we all understand. So it's like a classical SDLC process. You can call it agile, you can call it to some extent waterfall, but really, so it depends on the level of abstraction you are looking into. Because if you look on the process from the system perspective, and you have iterations, and you can change your backlog anytime, you can prioritize, you think you're agile. if you go to the level of the feature and you have started, then you have a waterfall because you go through really strict stages that defined in your process. Sometimes you can skip something, of course you can be flexible, but still you cannot avoid requirements analysis. You cannot avoid coding, then deployment, then testing, and so on and so forth. And actually, usually one feature takes like 14 calendar days to develop it with the help of cross-functional team. And actually, we have a bunch of different roles, at least here at EPAM and probably in your organizations. So we have product owners, BAs, solution architects, dev and DevOps, and so on and so forth, who are working on this. And lots of them got last year a great help from AI tools, from copilots, and they started using them. And in this process, so the major challenges are actually extended feature development timelines, because I started my career 20 years ago, and we didn't have that many amount of roles. So usually you were the only person who was delivering code from the requirements to production. And you were alone, so you didn't have to pass information to other persons. The complexity was not that high, and that is why it was possible. And actually, right now, that turned a little bit from other side of the coin, because we have a lot of people in the place, and that is why we have to pass information. We need to make it clear, and that is why the timeline grows, because we need to keep the availability of the persons and so on and so forth. And in this environment, actually, the cost of experimentation and modification can be really high, because you don't know how the experiment will go, and so on and so forth. In the same time, it's growing the complexity of edge case testing, and you probably have seen this, that you have too many ideas in the backlogs which are contradicting each other, and nobody knows exactly what it is about, because the idea looked to be really great at the very beginning, but in 2 weeks it's like not really that great. Nobody wants to work on it, and that is why nobody understands why it was created in the backlog. From team challenges, actually, we got too many roles, and that is why we get and too many people inside this process, and that is why we got actually lots of communication. In the same time, it's really hard to automate all the transfers between the different stages of the process. And when I say limited automation, I'm not saying that DevOps are not doing their job. So they do. But actually, when you want to really automate collection of all metrics, you need to dedicate a lot of resources to it. If you want to analyze something, you need to dedicate a lot of resources to it, and so on and so forth. And because we as humans are not perfect, the technical and security debt is growing. So it's like normal situation for any product. If you pay attention to it, you can manage it, but it's a natural way of developing the software, that the security and technology and technical debt will grow. And let's talk. So we talked about like what we have, and right now I want to focus on GenAI and try to answer the question that I raised before: is it a really game changer, and how it can help? So here at EPAM, we see 5 different ways how GenAI can actually affect such human-machine processes. And actually, it started long before like appearance of GenAI, because we all have our favorite IDEs with some IntelliSense, and we are not doing everything manually. So there was a lot of automation put already in place. Right now, when we have copilots, so they can help much more than usual patterns and some quick keys that we use in IDE. So they can work with our context, with our tasks, and help to propose different solutions. So the most famous answer that I get from the developers on the wave number 1, I stop using Stack Overflow. So because I can use GenAI to get the answers by just talking to it, talking to my repository, and actually it uses some context from the code that I already have, and that is why it simplifies the search of the solutions of the potential problems that I face during the development. And of course, it's true for Java engineers and for all other engineers in place who are working with the code. So this is language agnostic. The second wave is a little bit more complex because it introduces AI agents into the place. We will talk about them in more details, how they look, but the main difference is that you delegate to AI not just to give you advices, but to do some stuff. So how it works, I will tell you a little bit later. And with wave number 3 is basically starts when agents start in driving the process. So they involve human when they are needed. It's the most crucial change between wave number 2 and wave number 3, because in wave number 2, you still remain as a human in a pilot place. You tell what to do. Of course, you can have some limited automation around this by actually triggering some agents based on events and so on and so forth, but still you are still the main hero. On the wave number 3, the idea is that AI agents involve human when they stuck. Like in a classical industry automation right now, where we have factories without human at all on the production lines. So it can happen with different human-machine processes outside the classical industry. The wave number 4 and the wave number 5, I prefer not to talk about them at the moment because it's really far away from this year at least. But still, it's something like Raymond Kurzweil is telling us. So it will be near the technological singularities that can happen. But as a practical person, I would like to focus on a wave number 3 and the wave number 2 and 1. So let's see how it can affect the teams and what can be the gain when we start using new methods of working with AI. And when we say here productivity gain, I would like to explicitly mention that it doesn't mean that it is about working faster or harder. So for me, all the productivity gain we should get from AI is vice versa. So for me, it's working easier. It's making the stuff in a more sophisticated way, without interaction with other person, when you can rely and delegate some work to AI and not to do a lot of stuff manually. So this is actually the main point that I would like to make, because in some cases, people think that introduction of AI will either steal their job or will make it more complex. In my eyes, it only if it makes it easier and only if it gives me some time back, then it is effective, and then there is a productivity gain. Because when I am given my time back, I can do creativity, and that is why I can create really something new. So AI should focus on the stuff that I do every day. and I don't want to do anymore. If I like doing this, it's okay. So it's my routine, I like it, and there is nothing bad that I am not using AI. But when I'm actually already tired of it, I want to delegate it. And if I delegate it to human, most likely I am like creating this cycle of continuous delegation of the boring job that will still continue. If I can delegate it to machine, then I can like break this cycle. So this is the main idea. And with the wave number one, the productivity gain is not that big because it mostly focuses on individual productivity. And if you are doing your work faster, this doesn't mean that you really influence the calendar time for the feature. And this doesn't mean that your customer will get it faster. So this is actually the main, I would say, constraint of the wave number one, and the main driver why we should not stop on it, because it doesn't really solve the main problem that I was trying to describe. With wave number two, it grows a little bit because you can actually, with the help of agent, and again, so I need to postpone conversation about the agent a little bit for a later time. You can get expertise in the area where you're really not certain. So I'm coming from the Java world as well. So I was a Java engineer. To do the job that I was describing, I had to learn SQL, I had to learn JavaScript, I have to learn some DevOps automation and so on and so forth. But really, I'm not that experienced in those kind of languages because my main focus always remained Java. And actually, what I've noticed that, and actually all experienced engineers knows this, are noticing this. So this doesn't. This is not about the language. This is about the engineering process itself. And when you know what to do, you just need to learn another syntaxes. And sometimes it takes a lot of time. With the help of AI, you can have only one syntax, and this is our native language. So what I call technical engineering English. If I can do engineering work with the help of English, then I get in the universal tool, because in this way I do not need to be that experienced in some specific languages. I just need to explain what I need to do and to validate the output. Of course, it is not about like this will be world-class code. So it's not about that at all. And of course, I need to understand what I see. So the biggest issue with AI that we all noticed in our research group, that it works only for really experienced persons. So it will not work really well for juniors. And that is why, because you notice that. So AI continuously generates bullshit, and you need to understand whether it's bullshit or not. And in order to make a judgment, you need to be an experienced person, and it's okay. So the main difference is that you can delegate some stuff to agents, like creation of the unit tests, if you are not following TDD process. Because TDD is great, but my own experience shows that I was more effective not using TDD, because I can do a lot of stuff in my head. But in order to make it maintainable, I still have to write unit tests. And if I can avoid this by delegating it to AI and just checking what was created, then it can make my work faster. And with wave number 3, actually, we expect that some of the processes can be created almost automatically. But I want to go back a little bit to the wave number 2 and talk about AI agents, so what they do, because I promised to tell and actually was postponing this explanation a little bit until I get to this slide. So the main idea of the agent is that it's just not giving you advice, but it can do some action. And that is why it consists of like 4 major components. It's prompt, which is describing the behavior of the agent. It's planner, so it's agent brain, which decides what needs to be done. It's actually an executor. An executor is basically a component that can call the interaction with the system of record. And actually it is shown here, so you can do actions in Jira, you can do actions in Git, you can do actions in Confluence, and whatever that has some interface, either command line interface or REST API interface or any other interface. Because how it works, the LLM just generates the request that needs to be called against the system of record to get the data. So let's say if I want to create an agent which works with Jira and I will tell it what is assigned to me, LLM knows that Jira has an API to search for the issues. It knows that there is a GQL and it can create a GQL query that will say, okay, assignee equals current user. And it will give this request to some piece of code, let's say written in Python or any other language, which will call the HTTP request, get the response. So in the response, we will have textual information, and LLM will be able to transform it to something readable and more applicable to the agent context defined in the prompt. And of course, there is a memory, which allows agent to remember what was happening before. So the major challenges that appears with such kind of architecture and usage of AI, that you will always have a challenge to understand what you want to create, a universal agent or dedicated agent. To be really honest, to create a universal agent, it's very hard. So at least for our team, so we didn't manage to do that. We stopped on the dedicated ones, but then you get a lot of agents that you need to orchestrate as a human. And sometimes it is fun, because when it is new, you say, okay, so the machine can do the coding for me. It's cool, okay, I will do that. But when you notice that it continuously making mistakes, you are getting tired. And you say, okay, I will do it myself. So this is actually instability. And there is always a regression, because when the new LLM appears, you need to adapt your prompts again. You need to adapt your actually project context stored, let's say, in like retrieval augmented generation style. So when you create embeddings or use graphs and so on and so forth. So basically, there is a very big risk that what worked yesterday will not work today. And this is unstable. But in the same time, you can create agents that can be really useful, that can do like code reviews, that can generate some tests, and so on and so forth. And we created like lots of examples in our internal EPAM tool that we call CodeMe. We have like lots of templates which are actually helping people to do the job. So you can see here like QA checklist assistant. So it helps to generate checklist in a necessary format based on the QA input, of course. So there is a design to code assistant when you give some picture and it creates the code, like boilerplate code for it. So it's to some extent, it is always working. But let's go to a little bit more complicated story, to way number 3. And actually, there are 2 concepts of AI workflows. This is a sequential and autonomous model of the AI workflow. The idea is, so when you have a sequential way, then you have a set of agents. As I said before, remember, so we have this challenge. So it's either universal or dedicated. So if you have created a set of agents, let's say one of it can fix the sonar issue, another can generate the unit test, then another one can do the code review, and you need to combine them all together in a CI pipeline. Then you know in what order. Then you can use the sequential workflow, and you can say, okay, so I have a set of atomic agents based on which I can create more complex flows, and I can actually have a better reflection on the actions that agents performed on the certain stage in order to guarantee better result in the end. And actually, we have created several examples of such workflows, like unit test coverage. So based on which you can actually take the repository, run, if it is Java, so let's take Java repository. Then I can run Jekako report, define what classes are not covered enough, and say to another agent, okay, so you have a task to cover this class. And it will generate some unit tests. Then I can have the agent which will check either they work or not, either they compile or not, return this feedback back to LLM in a fully automated way without even touching it, and get the result. The average results that we were getting with unit tests based on the based on our test repositories with this agent is about 70% from zero. So which can be done like really fast without human interaction, and it is cheap. So from the cost perspective, it's much cheaper than the developer time. Of course, if we compare the best engineer who will create in the unit test and the unit test generated by AI, you know who will win. So it will be a human at the moment. But at some moment, humans were winning the chess against computers. But now it's not the case. And from competing with a machine is a game that you will lose anyway. So there is no need to compete with the machine. You need to benefit from the machine. And if you can delegate certain set of unit tests to be generated automatically, just do it. Do not compete with the machine, because if you will prove it, then you are better than the machine, what you have proved. So it's already given, because humans are better. But if they are better, they need to do the stuff that the machine cannot do. So that is the most important message that I would like you to give, because it's not about getting your job away from you. It's giving you time to do the creativity. With the autonomous workflow, the situation is a little bit different. You are not specifying what needs to be done exactly. It's more about like a way. Then you have an orchestrator, so the supervisor here, which defines which agent will work. So let's say that you have created, so you want to do some really simple tasks fully automated. You say, and you want to put them into classical SDLC process, like create a Jira ticket, then actually do the coding, then do the testing, and so on and so forth. And actually, you can have actually a set of agents that will do simple tasks. And the supervisor will decide whom to call afterwards. Because if I say just paint my button from red to green, then it's pretty obvious even for AI that first of all you need to create a story. Then you need to create a code. You need to create a merge request. You need to commit it. You need to write some tests and to deploy it to environment. And actually, all of that is possible with AI workflows to some extent at the moment, of course. And the better you understand your problem, the better you can actually split it into really understandable for you pieces that you can explain, that you can actually describe in a native language, in this English engineering language, the better you can give the tasks to AI, and the more effective it will be. This is actually the real example what we do. AI workflows we call externally as EPAM AI run trademark, and we actually hide these new methods of working behind this term. And this slide illustrates our participation in a SWE benchmark. So SWE benchmark is devoted to understand how AI can be effective in solving GitHub issues. So in real coding. At the moment, they have a verified data set which was collected by real Python developers hired by OpenAI that have created a data set of 500 real GitHub issues in real GitHub repositories like Django, like Astropy, like famous Python repositories. And the idea is that AI can use any technology. So, the team can use any technology, any approach using the AI, with the help of which they should try to generate the Git diff which solves the problem and pass it to evaluator written by the SWE bench team in one shot, so in one cycle. And if evaluator thinks that it is solved because it has a bunch of tests written, this issue was solved by human, it can be compared, so it can be said that AI solved it. So at the moment, we inside EPAM have achieved the result of 39.6% using Claude 3.5 Sonnet as an LLM. So before October, GPT was like state of the art. In October, Anthropic introduced Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and it was like a game changer, at least for this test. To be really honest, I think that there is a very big influence on the data set that was used to train the model, because the impact of usage of the Claude 3.5 was really significant. On GPT, we got 27%, and then we get like plus 12 just by changing the model. So we didn't change a lot on our side, but the model itself like increased our results dramatically. And that happened if you take a look on the leaders for most of the teams. And you see the leader right now is 53%. So what I want to convey with this message, imagine that you have 250 out of 500 defects on your real projects solved automatically in your technical debt, in your regression debt. So you, as a teams, will never even get to that because you will have no time. AI has time. You just need to pay. And that is why there is a potential here. of course, it will be not that easy. Of course, you will face lots of problems, but still, you can automate a lot of stuff that continuously appearing in your product or in your project, in your code. And you can solve it with AI. And this is actually the new ways of working that I was talking about. And on the next slide, I would like to show you a video with a real workflow that we have created like almost 2 months ago when we wanted to show the possibilities of using AI in the area of migrating the Java applications to AWS serverless architecture. And actually, the pipeline can be really difficult, so it can involve a lot of tools that will actually recommend you what to do in this piece of code or that piece of code in order to be compatible with cloud environment. And you can introduce a lot of agents who will do the job. But let's better take a look on this video, and I will comment what is really happening. So we see that we have 3 assistants. One is for Spring Boot application, which is here on the screen. So it's like some application with H2 embedded database. It has some controllers. Here we have this employee controller. And we want to migrate this Java application to serverless architecture. In order to do that, we have a task inside Jira, which describes that I want to migrate 2 methods, get and post. So I have a description generated by AI. Actually, this was generated by AI based on some bullet points. So it was not written by human like fully, but the main context and what is needed to be done is of course there. And we have the target repository. So this is our target repository, which is completely empty before the workflow is working. So we have taken a look on the assistants which can talk to the Spring Boot application, can work with Jira, and we have this CDK developer, so which will commit the code to AWS DevOps. And you probably noticed that repository is fully empty. There is no CI/CD there at all. So what we can do? We have a workflow. It is a sequential one, which involves these 3 agents. So first of all, we will read ticket from the Jira. Then we will collect all the information needed from the legacy application and then ask the CDK developer to create a new code. What we do is just put the link to the Jira ticket and relax. So right now the workflow is starting to work. First of all, it just get the information that we have seen before and put it into the context. And then it decides, okay, so right now I need to collect information about the Java classes which exist in the legacy application, put them into the context as well, because CDK developer will need to understand what to do, not only based on the description, but based on the real code that it has in context. So it will take some time to do all the stuff. Actually, the main difference with workflows and agents comparing to the copilots, it's not only telling you what to do, but it really does the work for you. So here we see some details that were used during the creation of the real code. And we can go to this repository and we have a pull request. And here we have created files with Lambda functions on Python, which actually do the same logic as was in the legacy application. All we need to do is to merge it. Surprisingly, the CI process started because the CDK agent was told also to generate the CI and CD pipeline. And right now it can compile, package the Lambda function, and then deploy it to your AWS account that was configured in your CDK agent. So all of that you can actually describe, as I said multiple times before, in natural language. So from one hand side, you can think that it looks like magic and it is only demo, but believe me, it was real. So the guy who was creating it, he did it like in 2 or 3 days, and actually we got to this result. What I would like to also you to take away from this video is a potential. So it's not like this will replace you, but what potential it can give to you. Because if you have a repetitive tasks, then you can have workflows that will simplify it. And I'm coming to the end of my talk, and I promised Roman to leave some time for the questions, and I guess we will have enough time. I want to talk about like current adoption challenges and future trends. About the adoption challenges, I already mentioned some of them, and this is actually resistance because of job security concerns. That is why during my talk, I several times explicitly mentioned that it's not about like taking away job from you. It's about giving back time to you. My personal dream with the help of AI to work not 5 days, but 4. So this is actually what I would like to do in the future. Of course, it's not only about us as engineers, because there are clients who are really right now are resistant to give their intellectual property to AI because it can be sold and so on and so forth. And actually, there is a very high risk of data leakage here. And of course, there is hallucination and high failure rate problem. But you in a probabilistic models like AI, it's like it's nature. So it's okay that you have errors. And as an architect, when I start working as an architect, I always followed the pattern design for failure. Because if you really take a closer look on our normal life, something is always going wrong. So there is no way, at least this is my experience, probably I'm not that really happy person, but in my life, most of the scenes went not the way I planned. So not completely wrong, but not the way I planned. And that is why I had to adopt, I had to change, and so on and so forth. And it can be considered as a small failures, and it's okay. So to have failures, it's okay. An ability to recover from it is basically the key. And that is why AI agents and workflows, they introduce this capability of regression and of self-reflection. And about the trends. So Gartner says that 80% of the code will be generated by AI in 2025. I don't think it is really will be real, but some basement and background for this is already created. Of course, the second trend will be personalization of user experience, because if you can actually boost the feature development, then you can concentrate more on a personalized usage, and because you can analyze more data and you can understand what is better to how it is better to present the feature to this or that client. And the biggest impact will be on testing, because if you create lots of the changes, you need somehow to test them, and testing process will be the key. So this will be the focus of the next following years, and I guess that new strategies will appear in this area. So thank you for your attention. You have my contacts here in LinkedIn, Telegram, and EPAM. You can contact me and ask any questions if we will not cover them right now with Roma. Roma, any questions from the audience?
Yes. Yes, they are. Well, thank you very much for this talk. So, well, it's really amazing for me to see a real demo of how AI can be useful. Because, yeah, most of the things we have, like, I mean, everywhere, they're like, yeah, AI can help you, blah blah blah. But these are real use cases. So this is really amazing to see them. Sorry. So to start with, as you mentioned in the last part, test coverage, uh, we have a question from Igor in our YouTube chat about test cases. I can show, I can show the messages from YouTube on the screen, so I will use it. So, but the quality of test cases generated by AI, I assume in this case, is not good enough. It can provide good coverage, but quality of tests are low. And then there is example how it can be achieved. So how can we fight with that?
Yeah, this is a really good one, and I like this question. And how I actually explain it to my team, and why we are doing this. And I mentioned this during my talk. So the level of quality of the test will be lower generated by AI comparing to the human. But if you do not have any tests, it's much worse situation that you have bad tests. Because if you have a legacy application, which you don't know how it's working, you cannot create the good tests. But you can create some tests and understand the impact of your change, how much you touched, basically. And that is why it gives you more confidence in refactoring process. And I see no problem that the quality of the test is not good enough. You just need to understand that level of quality. So what you have covered with this test. And if you want more, you can do two things. You can either improve your agents and actually push AI to do the better job, or you can create some tests on your own based on what was already created. And it should boost your work. Roma, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry, I mute myself because not to disturb your answer with my cough. So yeah, okay.
Okay.
So thank you for the answer. Proceeding with other questions. Yeah, we have a lot, and I do see that people are really interested in this topic. So it's about waves, which you mentioned. So do you think someone already has wave 2 implemented or close to have it?
I do. At least in
Okay.
because I have seen it with my own eyes. This CodeMe team that I mentioned. So we started last year as a R&D team, and the first thing that I told to the team, you will not work the old way. So there is no need to work in the old way. If we are not eating our own dog food, there is no sense to do that stuff. And that is why we are using agents like everywhere. So we are the true story is that and my team forgive me. So you probably hear, but my team forgive me. Not everybody is really fond of AI. So I noticed that about only 30% of the people who are in the team, they can really use those agents by themselves. So all of them can create them, but only 30% can use them effectively and say, okay, I become more productive because I use agents and because I'm fond of it. Sometimes people are saying, okay, it's not good enough and I don't know how to improve it. And that is why I will not use it. And it's also okay. So that is why I could say that in CodeMe team, we have already implemented the Wave 2. And I do really hope that we are really close to implement at least some portion of the wave number 3. Because what I wanted us to cover with the help of workflows is generation of the unit tests, fixing sonar issues, like real classical technical debt. When I think about the sonar issue, I do really hate to fix what machine told me to fix. If it told me, fix it. Why you're just telling me to fix it? If you know it, how to fix it. And that is why I can help here.
Yep, yep, makes a lot of sense for me. So one more question. Is there is a chance that this approach will reduce the need for interns and junior developers and that the requirements for entry-level positions will become significantly higher?
Oh, this is my favorite one as well. To be a junior, for me, it's like, again, guys, maybe I will tell that it's not a harassment at all that I will tell right now. So to be a junior is a happiness. I was really fond to be a junior. So when I was a junior engineer, that was the happiest moment in my life. When I was a junior solution architect, it was the happiest moment in my life because all the world was open to me. Everything was exciting. I was given the tasks that I thought that I would not manage to do, but they were all related to creativity because I was junior engineer 20 years ago. And the first task that I get was, okay, Zhenya, find the barcode on the image. What I know about the barcode on the images, I saw them only as on some products, but how to find them, I didn't know. I just start coding and got the results, and I was successful. So that is why, in a classical way, how we think about juniors, that they are our helping hands. Of course, it will change the situation, but I don't look on interns and juniors in this way. I look at them as a future, as an open-minded person who does not have really constraints that we as a seniors have. So that is why it's just a change of paradigm.
You know, I heard a joke a couple days ago. In my childhood, I hate when somebody told me what exactly should I do. Now in my adulthood, I want somebody to tell me exactly what I should do with a step-by-step plan.
Yeah, but this can be replaced with AI, Rob.
Okay. Yeah, we will discuss it on the day 3 when we have panel discussion.
Sure.
Okay, so question about more a vision in the future from Igor. With AI tools as an integral part of the software development lifecycle, will there be a shift in how software engineering teams are structured? And if so, what might that look like?
Yeah, it will. And I hope it will. The structure, as you probably remember, I showed different roles that appeared in IT recently. And for me, there is only one real role in IT. It's engineer. All the rest are specialization. And what I would hope how the teams will change, that we go back to engineers, not to specializations. So actually, this is what agile about is. So this agile is about the team which consists of experienced person who are replaceable and can do almost any task. So this is what agile about. And that is why with the help of AI, I hope that we will cover our gaps in certain technologies, because as a human, I cannot know every library, every technology that is used on the project. I can understand what it do, I can understand its constraints, but I cannot operate it really well, because it takes a lot of time.
Okay. One more question from Andrei. You mentioned you had success with specialized agents, but not with generic ones. Have you experimented with hierarchical organization, high-level agents orchestrating specialized ones? And related question: what was your experience with agents interacting with each other in general?
This is basically what we call AI workflows. So this is what we call wave number 3. And the experience right now that the sequential workflows, they work well. So recently, one of our colleagues in CODME team fulfilled at least a part of my dream, and I'm really grateful to her. So what she did, she created a workflow that is triggered when the release is done, and you need to create a new newsletter about the new release with what is inside and send it automatically to the users. So before that, some persons, they go to Jira, they understand, okay, what we have done here, what we have fixed, and you get some newsletter. Is it good? Probably yes. Is it complete? Probably yes. You will never know until you will check it. With AI, it's the same, but it's free. I mean free from human time perspective, not from the cost perspective. And even if it contains mistakes, it's okay. Because in the previous way of creating a newsletters, the mistakes can be there as well. And that is why in CODME we always write who is reading those emails and who is attentive. There is a disclaimer behind. It is fully generated by AI.
Okay, so you mentioned cost, and next question is related to that. So you also mentioned different models which you use, and that Sonnet release was a game changer. So the question: for your agents, are you using a highest quality models available in the market right now for everything, or have you run into situation where 4.0 Sonnet is too expensive for some tasks, but 4.0 Mini, Haiku, Flash cost acceptable amount and solve the tasks adequately enough?
Yeah, we experimenting with local LLMs as well, not only with leaders at this moment. And basically, in future, I think that specifically trained models will be more effective because when it's like what happened to all of us. So as an engineer, I cannot as a Java engineer, I cannot compete in effectiveness with JavaScript engineer because this is not my focus. Of course, I can do this stuff in JavaScript, but I will do it like on an average level. And the same can be true for the models as well. So if they will be trained specifically for some tasks, then they will be more effective, in my eyes.
Okay. And I think the last question, the most tricky one, and the question to you as an architect. So it's nice that you're talking that AI can substitute some development role. But is it possible to use AI agents for architectural tasks rather than for development ones?
I hope. As I said, I do not want to work more. I want to work less, and that is why how we use AI in architecture. It can describe the diagrams that you have created with the text, like no brainer at all. It even can create the diagrams for you, no brainer at all. It can also fulfill the scenarios for non-functional requirements. I think that this question still contains that message that AI will replace somebody. It's not about the replacement. It's about like giving a chance for humans to do the job they are supposed to be doing. So that is why if I have a routine, and I have, as an architect, a lot of routines to support documentation, to do the cross-check of the requirements, and a lot of other stuff that I would really gladly delegate to AI. But AI will never, probably never, or even in some future, will replace an architect who is creating something new. So the creativity will still be the focus of the human. The execution can be delegated to AI.
Yeah, so this relates me to another joke in internet that AI can perfectly do pictures, etc. But I want, so we have time to do dishes and cleaning, but I want AI to do dishes and cleaning, so I would have time for pictures and songwriting. So
That is actually the case, because it's not about creating the images, of course.
yeah, but I mean, this is what you what you was talking, that yeah, we need time for creativity to really develop systems and their stuff. So we want AI to do boring stuff for us, so we can focus on really interesting. So I think that's we have more questions, but we don't have time. So again, I want to thank you very much for this talk. Really inspirational one, and really interesting that it's something really close to us. So thank you very much. Thanks for being on Java On, and thanks for delivering this talk.
Thank you, colleagues, and have a nice conference. Enjoy it. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. So we are close to the end of day one of Java On Conference, and thank you all of you who are still with us here. So I want to remind you that it's only day one, and we have 3 days. So please join us tomorrow and Thursday. We will have much more speakers and more talks, and a lot of interesting stuff about Java, about AI, about different things which we want to share with you, to discuss with you. So Java On is back, right? Java On 2024. And before we jump to our next speaker, I want to remind you that we are collecting your questions in sorry guys, my coffee is still with me as you are. So we collect your questions in YouTube chat, in chats on VR community platform. I try to monitor all of them. I want to share with you how it looks like on my side. So yeah, let me just show you this nice picture. So I need to share the entire screen. Yeah. So this is how it looks on my side. So I have all the chats here, all 4, and another one on my laptop monitor. So yeah, I try to collect all your questions and pick them up for our speakers. So please post them. Please post your questions. Yeah, and also I want to tell you that we still have our nice activations, interesting, that you can participate in. So first one is Kahoot challenge. You can find everything in description in on YouTube, and also on our page in VR community platform. And my operator tell me that when I stroke with my hands on the table, I'm shaking a bit, so yeah, sorry. Yeah, so you can find these activations on our pages, and you can participate in them. Kahoot challenge is quite something fun, and you can guess some Java related words and phrases on pictures generated by AI. I sound like Google CEO, right? With this AI. I will try to do it less. Sorry. And another one is you can leave a comment under our promo video telling us what do you want to see on future conferences. So we want to hear from you. What is your opinion? How you want to see what you want to see on Java on 2025, and we want to know more from you. Just leave us your opinion, and all these activations are not just for having fun, of course, for that, but also you can win a prize. We have some T-shirts and we have some licenses from JetBrains, so you can have them. So participate in our activities and have a chance to win them. Okay, so we are moving to our next talk, and let me invite to our stage our next speaker, Ivan Zvieriev. Ivan, welcome.
Hello.
Hello,
Do you
hello.
hear me
It's
well?
always, yeah, we can hear you, we can see you. And I want to say that it's always pleasure to see speakers from our previous conferences that they are enjoyed being with us and then return with their new talks. So welcome back.
Thank you. And it's actually a pleasure to present on. Sorry, it's autumn, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
same.
it's pleasure to present once again on Java on. Hope this time will be better.
Well, I would
We'll
say
see
previous
about
time
that.
was awesome, so this time would be better. Okay, we can accept that. Okay, guys. Just a reminder, we collect your questions in YouTube chat and in chat on VR community platform. So please put them there. As I showed, I monitor all of them. So just post a question and we'll collect it. Yeah, I think we will not spend more time. Ivan, stage is yours, and good luck.
Thank you, thank you. Once again, welcome on Java on, and welcome to my talk about why Java, like a good wine, becomes better with age. You know, I was recording a promo video for my talk, and it was very difficult to run around alcoholic theme about wine, but we are speaking that like good wine with the age, yeah, it becomes better, and Java the same. And that's what I'm going to show you why exactly it is like that. And let's go. So my first slide, as usually, is about myself, who I am. I'm almost 8 years already in EPAM. I'm enjoying working on low latency systems and with low level code. Overall, I'm like, I guess now it's even more than 13 years in IT. I'm collecting different hobbies, so it's not that I'm staying with something particular for a long time. I'm father of two boys, and I have a dog and a turtle. That's me. And let's jump to the agenda. So, what we are going to talk today. First of all, we will discuss the difference between development for customers, for business, and for developers. So B2D. The next ways how to maintain JVM platform in a good shape. And then we will go into details. So we will talk about history. Modern days is like, ancient history, then Middle Ages. So history, modern days, and we will glance a little bit into the future. And then we will make some conclusions. Let's start. B2C or B2B versus B2D. So what is the difference between developing like business applications, like we majority of us do, and products for developers? Means JDK, JVM, I don't know, IDE, whatever tools developers have to develop business applications. In B2B and B2C, there are a couple of things which are quite clearly understandable by business and which are acceptable. For example, everyone knows that adding more functionality and new features, this will bring more clients quickly. Yeah, so you have new feature in your app, the more and more clients you will be able to get. With that comes the cost. Extending the system like always will always give the penalty to your performance. Yeah, once I guess Scott Oaks was writing that every line of your code, yeah, the more code you write, inevitably you will be degrading the performance of your application unless you are doing some special refactoring to improve it. Yeah. The next thing, the code base becomes bigger and maintenance costs increase. So each new feature, everything becomes more expensive because your code base became bigger. The same goes with infrastructure costs. Yeah, so the more your application is, the more infra it needs, and the cost is growing. All these things are acceptable by business. Yeah, because actually you compensate it with new clients. Time to market can be mitigated with increasing workforce. Okay, we need something faster, more. We just hire more developers and we are good. With B2D, whole previous slide is not acceptable. So with every new release, with every new version of your product, like Java, let's take Java, yeah, it constantly, in every Java version, it provides new features, yeah, but at the same time, we expect that every new version will be more performant than the previous one. And it will be more it will consume less memory. It will improve your costs like on infrastructure. Yeah. So actually, you need some arguments to business why you should upgrade your smoothly working Java 8 version to something new. And if you say that, oh, we will be able to use var keyword and at the same time our performance will drop by 5% and memory memory means like infrastructure in the background will increase, business will say, well, we don't need maybe new versions. Yeah, maybe we can live without var keyword. So for B2D, it doesn't work. And there are several ways to mitigate those problems. So the first way is to improve the existing code base and libraries. Yeah, so let's take a famous example of hash map. Yeah, initially the collision resolution was like linked list inside the bucket. Yeah, and this led to the fact that extraction from hash map, in worst case scenario, imagine that all elements put in the hash map went into the same bucket, was linear. And then later it was improved. It was like refactored to be the tree set under the hood, and it became logarithmic. Yeah. So existing libraries, existing code base, which you as a developer doesn't feel on your own skin. You don't need to do any modification, any changes. They can become better. The second thing, make the platform smarter and more performant. Means that JVM, like it has like not thousand, but hundreds of JVM flags. And each of them means something. Yeah, so the platform itself can become more smart and more performant. Java specifically, garbage collection was always a pain point in Java, and we will see throughout the history how garbage collection was evolving in Java and how much focus Java brings to this topic. Last but not least, yeah, you need to remove redundancies. So some things, for example, let's take applets, yeah, which were a thing somewhere in 2000, I don't know, 5 maybe. Now, like applets are not used, so maybe it's time to get rid of them, yeah, from JVM, from JDK. And there are more of that. We will see further. Last example of this difference is a little bit controversial, I would say, but I will try to make it as straight as possible. So 5 years ago, IntelliJ was, let's say, it didn't have real alternatives. Yeah, there were several people, like some percentage of people who were still sticking with Eclipse. There were still some percentage, small percentage of people who are working in Vim or I don't know, Emacs, no mouse coding. But a real alternative to IntelliJ, it just didn't exist. Now, VS Code is a real alternative. I'm not saying that it is better. I'm saying that it became competitor. And why IntelliJ has allowed, let's say, such a competitor to appear on horizon in such a short period of time. My personal experience was that IntelliJ, like it was just recently. Yeah, I have both on my home machine, which is very powerful. I have both IntelliJ and VS Code, but mainly I'm working now with VS Code, and the reason is that recently I had to switch from brand new MacBook to a little bit not deprecated, but like 3 or 4 years old HP. And I've noticed that some things in IntelliJ are very heavy. Yeah, indexing is taking too long for big projects. Sometimes it's like it's loading for a longer time. VS Code for me works much faster. So the reason why VS Code became a real competitor, I'm not saying that it became like replacement or it took like it's intentionally I didn't check what is the market share right now between IntelliJ and VS Code, but 5 years ago VS Code was not a real competitor for Java development. Now it is. And the reason is not in the features, not in the new like cool stuff which were added in VS Code and which are not present in IntelliJ. In IntelliJ we have like I guess everything we have in VS Code and even more. The reason was in this heaviness. Yeah, so this is what I was speaking in B2D, is that you cannot allow yourself in B2D environment deliver less and less performance solution with every new version. That was to conclude and to prove my point. I hope I did. And now let's get to history. So I wanted to gather like historical Java versions, which I like. I take like before Java 8, it's like ancient times. Yeah. Then from Java 8 to Java 17, it's like middle age, and let's say now it's after everything after Java 17. So I tried to do a one-liner for every Java version based on the most well well-known feature. Yeah, so Java 5 was kind of concurrency and generics Java. Yeah. Java 6, who cares? I don't even remember what was in Java 6. Java 7 is try with resources Java. Yeah, so I don't remember any other features from Java 7 now as well. Java 8, of course, it's streams and lambdas Java. And one important point to mention here. Java 8 was released in 2014. I remember the days when on technical interviews, I was asked like, Ivan, did you try already some features from Java 8? And I was answering, no, not yet. I still working on Java 7 and I didn't have time to try it. And now we have already, I guess, a generation of developers who even didn't see anything before Java 8 in production. Java 9, Jigsaw, modules Java. Again, I can't recap anything like important from Java 9. From Java 10, I remember var keyword. From Java 11, I don't remember any particular feature from Java 11. That's why I just know that it's good LTS Java, which is run in a lot of projects as a main, let's say, locomotive. Yeah. Java 12 was what I remember was switch expressions. In Java 13, we have received string literals. In Java 14, we have received records in the first glance. Then in Java 15, it was sealed classes, but I'm not sure that even like this string literals and sealed classes that I would be very much aware which in which version has appeared. So after Java 8, I would say that no like good one-liner exists, but I tried to come up with something. And Java 16 was another record Java when records became production ready and we could use them in prod. So this was one-liners. And now we will go to the things starting from Java 8. I will not go to Java 5 or Java 7. We will go to things which some people, of course, they notice it because they regularly read the release notes. They are aware of all the changes which are going into every JDK. I hope you are this kind of developer, not like me, that I'm just like scrolling news quickly. So we will recap what was in Java 8, except of streams and lambdas. Yeah. Datetime API. Despite many people say that, oh yeah, there was like also some datetime API, yet it is a new era in Java when datetime API from when the language received a good datetime API. I remember in Java when I was studying, the good practice which was mentioned by all the teachers was like, don't use Java datetime API, use, for example, Yoda time, use some external libraries, but don't use internal datetime API as it is not good. Can you imagine that, like a production language which is running on like billions of devices didn't have its own good datetime API? It had like this Gregorian calendar or whatever, but no one was really using them. In prod, there was like Yoda time was kind of industrial standard. Also, not very many people remember times before G1, but actually it was introduced in Java 8 first. It was not, it didn't become a default garbage collector immediately, but introduced it was in Java 8. Hash map internals will not go into details. I discussed it a little bit before. Once again, G1 was introduced. I guess I just do, don't repeat yourself. You know, everyone now and then needs to repeat to remind himself good practices. Also, what was important, parent_gen was removed. Yeah, so it was replaced with metaspace, and it was very significant change for internals of Java. Now our jigsaw Java. What important updates it received internally, yeah, and which are not very much advertised. So from Java 9, G1 became default GC. So if you run your application without any parameters, you will be running G1 instead of parallel old garbage collector. JavaDB was removed from JDK. Me personally, I never touched JavaDB. I don't even know what this model is, but let's say it was a thing for a couple of versions of Java, I guess. From this version, it was decided that there is no sense to maintain it anymore. JShell was introduced. I wouldn't say that I find very much usage of this tool. Actually, I never open it, to be honest. But every language here and there, I mean, take any, has some shell. Yeah, so before Java 9, it was not present in Java. Just from the perspective of competition on the market, it's a good move. Also, ahead of time compilation was introduced. I remember how many talks were about ahead of time, and a lot of people were betting that it's a future of Java. As we will see later, this bet didn't pay off too much. Still, people are using Graal. Yeah, I know that it is used in production, etc. But let's say the hype which was around AOT at that time and the real outcome didn't match. Also, compact strings were delivered. So strings started from Java 9 to take less memory. Going next to our Java 10 and my, let's say, the most controversial feature in Java with var, and this meme actually represents it. What was in Java 10 except of var? Parallel full GC for G1. So full GC in G1 was done differently in previous versions. From Java 10, it became even more performant due to parallelization during full GC. Removed Java H module. Who has heard about it? I guess not much. I also don't know what this model is, but it was removed. Long live Java. Java. Class data sharing. Actually, very interesting feature, and I guess we will see some more of it in future. Actually, starting from Java 10, every JVM on your machine can share data metadata of the classes, of common classes which they are using. And this helps to reduce the memory footprint of your application if it is needed. So there will be one mentioning of that in later version. We will come to it. Next, finally, not finally, but the first, let's say, after Java 8 LTS version, Java 11. And this meme actually represents one of the features which was present in previous versions, but you needed to enable commercial features to use flight recorder. From my perspective, as a person who likes to deal with Java performance, flight recorder is absolutely necessary tool. And in Java 11, we received it in JDK package, and we can use it for free. Previously, I was also using it. I was like enabling commercial features. I didn't know what consequences I can have. As you see, I'm here with you, so no serious consequences happened. Starting from Java 11, a new era in garbage collection started. Actually, ZGC was first introduced in Java 11. And this is already like my time when I'm still thinking that ZGC is experimental, because it was already introduced when I was quite into the industry, and I still treat it as experimental. But as we will see in future, it's already like fully production ready. And Epsilon GC actually was introduced, and this is garbage collector, which maybe majority of you doesn't use in production. It actually doesn't collect any garbage. It just crashes your application when it runs out of memory. You will think that why do we need this? This is a very useful thing which we were missing actually in one of my projects, which was working on Java 7, which was very low latency, and we couldn't afford garbage collector. So we wanted to completely eliminate garbage collection process from application run, but it was not possible. At least one garbage collector needs to be enabled, at least serial. Yeah. So we were writing the whole code not to trigger it, but still garbage collector needs to be applied to your application, and it still consumes some resources. Epsilon doesn't consume any resources, and it will just crash JVM in case you run out of memory. There was also introduced a new HTTP client API in Java 11. Java 12. We continue an era of extending garbage collector, and one more low latency Java collector was introduced, Shenandoah, again as an experimental one at that time. And I still treat it as experimental, despite it's already production ready in latest versions of Java. There were some significant improvements in G1 Mate, and for performance guys, GMH was introduced. So actually, I guess the biggest author of Java 12 was Alexei Shepelov, because he's author of both Shenandoah and GMH. Java 13.14, I decided not to split because there were not that many features worth mentioning. But actually, CMS garbage collector was a garbage collector, and we need to go deeper. So CMS garbage collector was a thing before G1. It promised a lot, but in fact it didn't deliver. So in one of these versions, it was removed completely from support, and starting from Java 15, you cannot already run CMS even if you want to. ZGC was ported, I would say, to be able to work on Windows and Mac OS. So earlier versions, for example, like Java 11, if you run Java 11 on Windows servers, you will not be able to use ZGC. Maybe it was backported, I'm not sure now, but support of Windows and Mac OS operating systems was introduced only in these versions of Java. One also not very hyped feature, but which I consider very, very important, is improved null pointer exceptions. Yeah, so the information which is coming now from NPEs is much more debugging friendly, or yeah, reader friendly. GFR, Java Flight Recorder event streaming was introduced. Java 15. This is a meme about UDP, because actually datagram socket was refactored. It was re-implemented, so you don't need to change anything in your code. You use datagram socket as you were doing previously. Now it will be better. Who does remember? I remember the name, because like when I was on Java 6 and 7, people were asking, do you know about biased locking, how it is working? I was intentionally reading about that. It was somehow connected to concurrency, but I don't remember details right now. So it was finally disabled and deprecated. So no biased locking starting from Java 15. And actually, this was like when I was preparing, I guess, previous presentation, it was a surprise for me that like ZGC and Shenandoah became production ready. So both of those garbage collectors you can use already in production. They are not experimental, no preview, full size GC. Yeah, GC on those collectors. Java 16, mainly like technical release, I would say. They have finally migrated OpenJDK from Mercurial to Git and to GitHub. Also, they added some strong encapsulation to JDK internals, and ZGC introduced a new like internal thing, concurrent thread state processing, which made ZGC even better than it was before. Now memes are over. Serious stuff starts, modern days. Everything Java 7, 17, and afterwards. I must confess, I'm a little bit sloppy. So when I started to guess one-liners for the versions, I realized that I fell a little behind. Yeah, and I didn't know what actually went live in those versions, because I'm still not on those. So one-liners for me looked like that. Java 17 was like LTS version, just like Java 11, very strong one, no features. Starting from Java 18, we started to wait for virtual threads, yeah. And in Java 19, we finally received virtual threads in first preview. In Java 20, we received second preview, and in Java 21, finally LTS and Project Loom went live, production ready. We can use virtual threads, which was expected long ago, as with the appearance of Kotlin coroutines, they became kind of game changer, and Java required something lightweight. And here we go. Virtual thread. Java 22 and 23 was complete mystery for me. So let's go to each version in details. It appeared that Java 17 brought actually a couple of interesting changes. And the one I specifically put the links here so you can open JEPs and read, because it was just very interesting reading for me. As a developer, yeah, it doesn't bring any practical application to your daily job, but it's very interesting reading. So floating point strict semantic actually was returned to Java. So in Java 2, it appeared that there were some processors which were not able to comply with strict floating point semantics. That's why Java, starting from Java 2, implemented two floating point semantics. One is strict, one is non-strict. And in Java 17, people realized that actually those processors are long time ago gone, and this problem doesn't exist anymore. So we are returning back to floating point strict semantics. Enhancing pseudo-random generators. Actually, there are several classes which were improved, and this is feature which you will get for free. Yeah, so if you are actively using random number generators in your application, just upgrading to Java 17 will bring you to a new level. Yeah, and actually very interesting JEP to read. Coming back to applet API, and this is going in ensemble with deprecating security manager, because security manager was guarding applet client code, I guess. And it was decided that the time has passed. Applets are gone. Long live applets. We don't have them anymore. There was also removed RMI activation package and experimental ahead of time compiler together with JIT, but not that JIT. There was also experimental Java-based JIT, which was also removed and deprecated. The reasoning was simple, like they didn't pay off the expectations, yeah, and the maintenance will be more expensive. So as you can see, Java 17 mainly removed a lot of things. Java 18, UTF-8 by default. Also very interesting job to read. So actually all JDK internals now UTF-8 by default. Interesting feature, which is not advertised. Code snippets in Java docs. So now you can make Java docs more user-friendly, I would say. Core reflection was re-implemented. There is a new address resolution API, and finally, pun intended, finalization was deprecated. So from the very beginning of times, using finalizers was a bad practice. I know in details why, but finally it was like deprecated completely. Java 19 and 20. Actually, there are two things which I want to mention. It's a cheating a little bit. This is not the features which you will get for free. I mean, you will need to implement those, but very interesting, and I wanted to mention them. It's structured concurrency and foreign functions and memory API. These two things, also, I put the links to JAPs here because very interesting reading, and structured concurrency is to me, it looks like a new approach to concurrency in general. Please read about this. It's really worth reading. Scoped values were introduced and virtual threads continued like to incubate in those versions, and Java 21 LTS, and finally we got virtual threads. Yeah, of course, not for free again. There is nothing that you need to do modifications to your code to actually fill virtual threads. You need to start writing virtual threads. But I guess this is really something worth mentioning as a new era in Java. As I was mentioning previously, yeah, Kotlin with its coroutines and lightweight concurrency made a very strong competition to Java, and is making still, and it's growing from my perspective. Very well deserved, but Java tries to keep on, and Project Loom finally have seen its production ready state. Sequence collections were introduced, generational ZGC, so you see that garbage collection still now it's not that, let's say, that much focus on it as in previous versions, but still people continue working on them, and this is something new which improved ZGC even further, and deprecated Windows 32-bit x86 architecture. Yeah, so it's it doesn't seem to have a lot of production application. Java 22 and 23. I also combined them together, and also some of the things you will notice just out of the box. Some of them you will need to implement, like statements before super. So actually, it will change a lot of. It can change like structure of how you are writing the constructor. So it's very important change which I wanted to bring to light. You see that the work on G1 also still continues. So ZGC was not a replacement for G1. They are just developed in parallel. We received primitive types and patterns, instance of and switch. Generational mode of ZGC, which previously we got, it was enabled by special flag. Now it is enabled by default. And some of the deprecated methods, in particular memory access methods in Sun, Misc, and Safe, were removed. or deprecated. Now, very quick glance to a future and conclusions. So that's a joke. Actually, you see that even the font is different from my whole presentation. I found this joke just today, and I really think that it's very good. And good, I will explain why. Java is like memory leak. Yeah, it starts off slow, but eventually your memory is gone. So there are two problems which I hear from the very beginning of Java: the slow startup time and a big memory footprint. So there are projects which are currently in development in Java ecosystem. Project Lilliput. Actually, it's going to reduce the header size first to 64 bits and then to 32 bits, which will, I think, significantly reduce the memory footprint and solve one of the joke's problems. Yeah. And the second is Project Leiden. Actually, again, my favorite, this is the person who I admire from performance perspective, how well he knows all the stuff in JVM. Alexei Shepelov is one of the people who is working on Project Leiden. They are going to speed up Java startup time. More of that, not only just a startup time, but also a warm-up time. So I'm just curious how they are going to achieve that. We will see. Project, I call it Project Crack, but I guess it's CRAC. It's a project which primary goal is to preserve your JVM state after it was closed. So you can start your JVM from the moment, exactly like with memory, with all collections, all the stuff populated, at the moment of crash or shutdown. Project Babylon and Panama, I'm not very much familiar with. It's connected with foreign functions, at least Babylon, this for sure. We don't have time to speak about everything, and we are actually running out of it. So let's go to conclusions. Summary. We mentioned in the beginning several ways how Java, as a good wine, becomes better with time. Yeah. So what was refactored starting from Java 8? Yeah, it was hash map. It was pseudo-random number generators, floating point semantics, reflection, strings, NPEs, datagram socket. And this is not all, of course. I just mentioned here on presentation only the main, let's say, significant changes. There are a lot of changes which are happening like with every release, which we just don't notice. What was removed or deprecated? It's security manager, it's applet API, it's finalization, some methods in unsafe, CMS garbage collector, ahead of time compilation and Java-based JIT, RMI activation, biased locking, JavaDB. I guess also that's not exhaustive list. And platform improvements. Like for a lot of people who started not so long ago, this seems to be that this is coming from granted. Yeah, I started on JVM where even G1 was not present. Yeah, so parallel old was or CMS at that time was like the most progressive garbage collector. So we've got 4 new. This is like super minimum. I mean, there were more commercial. Yeah, I quite sure that in some commercial JVMs we will see other garbage collectors which are worth mentioning. But G1, ZGC, Epsilon, Shenandoah introduced JFR, UTF-8 by default. This PermGem to Metaspace switch, and JShell, which still I don't use, but still this is a platform improvements. And there are a lot more which are kind of JVM flags, which are improved from version to version. So guys, that's actually, these 3 slides is the reason why Java as a good wine become better and better with every release, even if you are not using its most hyped and recent features. That's it from me. I'm open to questions.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much for such inspirational talk. I have a couple comments from my side. So, coming back to the slide where you do one-liners for each Java, you mentioned like something for each Java. Back in time, I started working with Java 6. And for me, one-liner for Java 7 is Ruby operator. Not try with resources, but Ruby operator. Because in Java 6,
Yes.
we had to write like list, array list of string equals new array list of string, blah, blah, blah. So with Java 7, we can omit this type on the right side. And it was like, finally.
I didn't realize. I thought that it's diamond operator, and I was
Diamond. Sorry, the diamond operator. Yeah.
Ruby is also fine. Yeah, it looks even more like Ruby, but
Yeah, it's diamond operator. Sorry, my bad.
that's true. True.
I lost in translation between languages. So yeah. So for me, this is the one-liner for Java 7. And try resources. Yeah, there was Java try with resources as well, something like that. As you mentioned.
Roman, can you imagine that at one technical interview, I was proposed, I was given like a Maven directory with some files, and like, Ivan, can you need to fix this bug? You need like the descriptions. I opened it, and I realized that I cannot read this code because it was written. I was like, what is that? And they are saying it's in Java 4. And in Java 4, there were no generics. Can you now imagine the live without generics? I failed this interview because I couldn't properly. I was young at that time. I mean, young in industry, let's say. But for me, it was like a shock to see non-generic code.
Yeah, a lot of objects and instance of. Yeah, back with that. Okay, so coming back to the question. So yeah, November here. So saying to have some connections between talks. So you mentioned virtual threads, which appears in Java 21. So guys, on day 3, on Thursday, we would have a talk about virtual threads. So if you want to dive deeper in this topic, join us, and we will have more about that. So the most
I will actually, because I was afraid that there will come a question about virtual threads, and I'm like, I didn't try them yet.
yeah, that's true. So the most important questions first. So you mentioned that. So you received this question. What is the breed of your turtle? What is the breed of your turtle?
It's red-eared turtle. It means that it can live on the ground and in the water. So basically, let's say if this is important, she travels around the flat during 2 weeks. Then I put her in a box with the water, drop some food, she eats, I then take it out, and it works for 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah. So this is the most important question. Now we come to less important questions about Java. So yeah. So first question is your opinion. Does foreign function and memory API from Java 22 help Java to get rid of the GNI and start to replace Python wrappers for efficient C++ code in AI tools, for example?
We will see about that. I've read a little bit about these foreign functions. I still see that GNI in general is not that let's say, industry broad. It's very niche thing, and currently I want to see how it will develop, because on these early stages, speaking about features like it was with ahead of time compilation, a lot of people thought that it will solve all the problems with Java performance which they had. Yeah, we compile in advance, but it appeared that just-in-time compiler work, produces even more performant code that ahead of time compiler can make. Yeah, and that's why I guess still, for people who are working with such low-level things, having one more additional opportunity is a good thing. Will it solve the problem with which JNIs currently have? We will see. It will still be not the practice for everyone. Yeah, which everyone can do. I never write something has written anything in GNI. So you did?
Yeah, I did. It's incredible crap.
Okay. Well,
Well, yeah.
that's why I didn't.
Yeah, so I can say well, this was the way, the same as you mentioned in Java 4 to write without generics. So I do hope that foreign functions will help us to build yet another layer of connection between Java and other languages. Just a reminder, we have GraalVM, which also is should help us overcome this silos, I would say. So yeah, I would join Ivan here. That we'll see. I also waiting for to try that. Okay, another question. Also, like as you said, as Java is becoming good as a good old wine. So, what do you think? Will Java stay among top 3 languages?
Is it now still in the top 3?
That's a good question, by the way. So I can check right now the last JetBrains survey. So let me check. JetBrains.
Let me guess. Kotlin is on the first place.
No. They do
I'm joking.
really state of development ecosystem. So they are honest in that. So from the last year, from 2023, JavaScript is on the first place, Python second, then HTML, CSS, SQL, let's say splitting the fourth place, and then Java. So Java is top 5 language, not top 3, but top 5. And then
I
there's
would
a
say
huge gap before all the rest.
my opinion is that Java is not going anywhere. Will it stay in top 3? We will see. I see that in this, as we have agreed now, top 5. Let's say if we talk about short term, Java is not going to give its place, because it still runs on too many applications right now. If we look in the longer perspective and see how JetBrains is developing Kotlin and how Kotlin is growing in popularity, and I actually currently work in Kotlin as well, and I would say that it can create a good competition in JVM-based languages. So I don't see any other language from JVM infrastructure, let's say JVM-based languages, which can replace Java, except for Kotlin. Kotlin can at least take a good share of. But if we sum up Java plus Kotlin, I would say that 5-10 years, if something like maybe tomorrow LLM will write a new perfect programming language which will replace all other programming languages. I don't know. In this world, I cannot be sure in anything, but I believe that Java plus Kotlin together, they will be in top 5 definitely.
Okay, so we are being corrected. So we are looking at JetBrains State of Development survey, but according to TIOB index, Java is on the third place. So Python's first, C++ second, Java is third. Uh, well, I would say it's up to you guys which index or which survey to believe. In this case, yeah, we can discuss stuff, but I think Ivan's answer is still valid for both cases. Okay, so we have one more question. Your talk is kind of philosophical, so that's why we have philosophical questions on that. So questions about Java certification. What are your thoughts on Java certification? And there is a new one for OCP 21. And maybe if you can have some recommendation on which certification to pass, if any, right now. So what would it be?
Okay. I have very mixed opinion about that. First of all, let's start from the fact that I don't have any certificate, not a single one from Java. So I didn't pass it, not because I consider them useless. I just don't have time because the preparation for OCP. OCA, I just don't see the point of coming OCA and get OCA for myself, and not receiving further like OCP, etc., etc. But at some point, I wanted to pass this certification, and I was preparing. I guess it was for Java 8 at that time, and I would say that it strongly structures your knowledge about the language, because in majority of life, yeah, when we are writing the code for our production systems, we are using all the stuff again and again and again. We are using already the same patterns, etc., and we don't remember what is in the language itself. Yeah, we just forget about other things which are still yet in the language. Maybe you don't even need them. So for production things, like back then, I remember that this question, what does volatile keyword mean? It was a brain crusher, let's say, for a lot of people on interview, and only few, like I received like 2 or 3 full answers. Yeah, because volatile also prevents some JIT operations reordering inside the method, so the operations before and after cannot be mixed. And do you really need to know that about JIT optimizations? Because for majority of the, let's be realistic, yeah, majority of applications are not performance demanding. Let's say our hardware and JVM platform can provide everything out of the box, just write good code and it will work. And it will be totally fine. If you want, so answering like directly on the question, if you want very good structured knowledge on the language, theoretical background, then I recommend preparing. I'm not sure even if you need to pass the exam and take the certificate, because like certificates are good. Yeah, I mean, but for me, certificate will not show anything. Like when the person is saying I have like 10 certificates on Java, I'm asking him to reverse a string me in IntelliJ, and this will show me a little bit. Like I think I will understand the person better when I see how or like do some basic operation. So for theoretical and for structuring, yes. For certificate per se,
I can only agree with what you mentioned. I am certified on OCP for Java 6. And I do remember, like, I prepared, and I do agree that this is preparation itself helps structure knowledge. And when I passed the exam, I came to work, say, "Hey, I passed exam," and one of my colleagues told me, like, that the thing that you have certification means only that you have time to pass certification. I was like, okay, thank you very much. But yeah, again, as I do agree with the one here that it really helps to structure knowledge during the preparation. So this is good to. There are books which you can just go through and collect all these tricky cases inside Java. So, because basically certification is speaking about corner cases of using different features and how they would interact with each other. So doing the preparation will really help you to structure your knowledge. We have a question in one of the chats about libraries or frameworks for AI in Java. So for this one, I would keep this question not for Ivan, but for tomorrow. We have Przemyslav talk about the AI libraries, so we will discuss a lot about it tomorrow. So please stay tuned. Okay, so we are out of time, and Ivan, I want to thank you very much for your talk, for such a good overview, sorry guys, for all these years about Java. And as I was saying, Java is on, Java is still alive, Java is still with us, and this is really promising. So Ivan, thank you very much for your really inspirational talk.
Guys, thank you very much for having me, and I hope to see you back here in 2025.
Let's see. Let's see how it will go. We do hope. So thank you very much. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, so this is basically nearly it for day one. I do hope you enjoy it. And yeah, so we are starting to wrap up. Before we do that, I want to show you one last thing. And please stay with me, bear with me for just a small moment. So I need to find this window first, which I wanted to share with you. Where is that? Here it is. So let me share my screen. Again, this will be this window. So this is the page of our, oh no, this one. Yeah, thank you. So this is the page of our conference, right? And here inside, you see the talks, you see the agenda. So for example, this is talk of Ivan, which we just listened. So you can go, you have opportunity to go inside this talk. And here you can, first of all, rate this talk. You can put as stars for rate this, but not only this, also you can say thank you to Ivan and send a nice badge to him. So you just can click say thank you here, and you can select one of 3 badges, write some warm words to say like, thank you, Ivan, very, very much for such inspirational talk on Java on 2024 explanation, and one more. Yeah, so this is like that, and you click give a badge just like that, and that's it. So you can do that. You can do it for every speakers we have today, we will have tomorrow, and we will have Thursday. It's really appreciation, small thing. It's really heartwarming experience to receive a badge from the audience directly, not only after the conference when we will collect your feedbacks, but also during the conference, so people will know that you like their talks, and this is how you can show them that this is something really valuable. So also, before we wrap up completely, I want to remind you that tomorrow we have a really nice agenda. So you can see it here. Time is in Spain time zone, so adapt it to yours. So we will start with Simon Ritter from Azul Systems and speaking about Java, how to keep it hot. Then we would go with Danilo Chechetov and speak about generative AI. And it's not only about Python, also Java is there. Then we would go with Istvan Nagy about keeping secrets and how to keep it, how to do it in Java and with Java, and finalize tomorrow with Przemysław Jakubowski with a talk about libraries which you can use in Java for AI. So basically one of the questions which we received today in the chat, and also day 3, also nice agenda, don't miss it. One small last thing. Yeah, I know it's not the last thing, but still. So you can see here some tabs, and we also have offline events. And I already saw our colleagues from Hungary posted messages in the chat that, yeah, guys, we would have offline event in our offices, so you can join them. And also we have events in 3 cities in Hungary and in Colombia, Medellin, and Bogota. We also have offline events, so please visit these links, check them, and you can join our colleagues to watch Java on offline in the offices, so you can have more experience about that. Whew, I think that's it. So thank you very much for being with us on day 1. I hope you enjoyed that. See you tomorrow and see you on Thursday. Don't miss Java on. Java is still on. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.